my darlings, how are you? I hope that you are doing amazing. It's DarlingDTarot bringing you another pick a card reading. So for today, we are getting right into this and we are asking the question, what does your person say about you to others? We'll also be covering how they describe your qualities, characteristics, maybe how you look as well to their friends and to their family. We'll also be talking about if they were to just describe you to some random person, how that would kind of come across. We'll also be talking about what sort of intentions they say that they might have towards you with their friends or with their family as well. So we're going to be getting a lot of information here on how this person describes you. So we have 4 beautiful piles here in front of us: stack 1, stack 2, stack 3, and stack 4. Now you can choose based off of the energy of the pile, the card that is with each stack, or the charm associated with each pile. So today we have these beautiful homemade cards. I just kind of made them out of construction paper and then little pieces of even lined paper that I had, and then books. I love thrifting books, and then after I'm done reading them, I'll usually cut them up and make something brand new with them, just because I don't like them going to waste, and sometimes people don't want to share books with me. So I don't know, I repurpose them, but this one as well was from a book that I had since I was in kindergarten. I just held on to it for so many years, and my Virgo self was like, I can't let go of these books, right? So I had to find a different way to utilize them. So this is going to be stack 1. This is stack 2. It says playing with fire. This is stack 3, among the dolls. And stack 4, this is the way the world ends. And I will give you a few seconds to choose, and then I will see out your pile. As always, take what resonates and leave the rest behind. This is a general reading, so not every message is going to fit, and that is a-okay. You know, take what resonates, leave the rest behind, and of course, if the pile you choose does not resonate with you, always feel free to come back to the beginning and choose another pile. But I will give you a few seconds to choose, and then I will see you at your pick. Hello to everyone who chose stack 1. Let's get right into your reading and see, what does your person say about you to others? So right off the bat, I love the fact that you chose the We Wait card with the Chihuahua charm. I definitely feel like you're someone who is worth waiting for, and I feel like that's what they usually tell people, especially their friends and family members. I think they're saying, I'm waiting for the right moment to ask this person out. I'm waiting until they seem open and receptive to it, and not saying that you aren't, but I feel like there's something else that needs to be done before they get there, such as maybe they are hoping to save up a little bit more money in the meantime. Maybe they are needing to fix their car for a few of you guys. Maybe they're waiting until you kind of get out of this bad situation, right? Maybe for some of you guys, you just got out of a bad relationship, or maybe you just got out of a tumultuous career choice, or there's just this energy of leaving this chaotic situation, and this person is waiting for the dust to settle and the dust to clear before they come to you, right? Now, for others of you, I just feel like this individual feels like you're very busy. You know, those of you that haven't come out of a tough cycle, maybe they see you as someone who's always on the go, who's always going towards their career and always going towards their ambitions and their goals and their dreams. They see you as someone who's very successful, but also someone who can tend to be shut in a little bit, right? I wouldn't be surprised if those of you that pick the stack are a little bit of homebodies. You love to be at home. You love to be comfortable on your couch, maybe reading a book or just browsing social media. There's definitely this energy of, as we wait, knowing the need to have your own alone time, right? It very much gives me the number 9 energy of someone who's very reflective and someone who likes to have those mindful moments, someone who loves the quiet. You know, I feel like the quiet for you still feels very comfortable and still feels very homey and very warm, right? And very inviting. Whereas for others, maybe the calmness or the quiet can kind of unsettle other people. I feel like you really bask in it. You really enjoy the moments of peace and solitude that you have. I also feel like this individual is going to say what a beautiful voice you have. I feel like they describe your voice as being almost like a melody or a song that they just can't stop listening to. You know, I feel like you also have a very sweet laugh. There's something about your laugh that also makes them laugh. It makes them very happy, and that's another thing they might tell others about you. Now, another thing too, I feel like you're someone who is very spiritual, and maybe they pick up on that. You know, maybe this individual also picks up on the fact that you are an animal lover, especially with this Chihuahua charm. You know, I feel like you're someone who would stop on the side of the road to make sure that an animal is okay, to pick them up, to take them to an animal rehab or to a shelter. You know, I feel like maybe some of you guys that pick this pile, all of your animals have come from shelters or come from rescues, you know, and you're very big into giving homeless pets a home, right? But I feel like you just have a large heart in general. You definitely wear your heart on your sleeve. You're someone who's very caring, very generous, very sweet. And I feel like they really love that about you, Stack 1. You know, I feel like this person would describe you as someone who is incredibly caring, very gentle, and very much a nurturing type of energy, right? Now, going forward onto your first 2 cards, these are just talking more about how this person would describe you. So we have number 17, Python, and number 45, Black Cockatoo. Beautiful. I love that we have 2 birds here. It definitely echoes this feeling of being very resilient, right? Someone who goes the distance, who can take off and take flight towards their goals and their dreams. I feel like you don't waste time, right? If anything, you know how valuable time is, so you don't like to waste yours or anyone else's time. And I feel like they really appreciate that. Now, remember how I was saying number 9 energy? Now we have the number 45, which is the number 9. Incredible, right? For some of you guys, maybe you are going to resonate with, maybe you're an Aquarius, or maybe this person's an Aquarius, maybe you're a Virgo, or you have these placements somewhere in your chart. Maybe even for some of you, you're a Pisces. Just want to throw this out, but again, I feel like you're very reflective. I feel like you're also very meticulous. You take your time with things. They would describe you as being very detail-oriented. Devil is in the details, right? You know, I feel like you're someone who might also dabble in sewing, or maybe baking, maybe cooking. There's just this energy of maybe you are a jack of all trades, you know, where you can do multiple things. You almost always have multiple irons in the fire when you're at home as well, so to speak. So I feel like you are constantly being pulled in every which direction, even when you're home. You know, I feel like when you're having your alone time, you know, you're someone who loves to deep clean. As silly as that sounds, I feel like you're someone who uses deep cleaning as a way to kind of have a small party, to turn music on, to dance around the house. There's just this energy of having fun, being very playful, being very childlike, right? But I also feel like you're a really good communicator with your friends. You're very open. You're very empathetic. You're very good at reading other people's emotions as well. But I also feel like you yourself are very sensitive. And that's probably why as well you like to kind of be by yourself, because you kind of feel like, I'm not going to disappoint myself. I'm not going to make myself sad or feel lonely or what have you. You know, I'm always going to feel like I'm enough. And I feel like that's also something this individual loves, is the fact that you don't need others for validation. You don't need others to tell you, that you're a good person or that you're on the right track, right? Because you already know. You're like, yeah, I'm already there, right? Now, with Black Cockatoo, it says herald confidence, companionship, and communication. Yes, again, you're a very good communicator. I feel like this individual loves the times that you guys have spoken together. I feel like they kind of replay you guys' conversations in their minds over and over and over again, like on repeat. With companionship, they see you as someone who would potentially be one of the best partners they'd ever have, because you're someone who's very honest, you're very loyal. It's kind of giving ride or die energy. I feel like once you're involved with someone, you're involved with them, right? It's kind of like no turning back. You are all in. There's also kind of this go big or go home energy with the number 17 being the number 8. It very much, again, reminds me of that determined, very confident, very vivacious sort of energy going towards your dreams and your goals. I feel like you're someone who dreams big as well. I feel like you're someone who also gets a lot of inspiration from spirit. I feel like you receive a lot of messages, which then translate into maybe you write stories, or again, maybe you draw, maybe you paint. But I feel like you're someone who is multi-talented, right? I feel like anything that you kind of put your mind to, you grasp very easily. And that's something this person would say to other people as well. Now, with number 17, before we get onto that, with it being the number 8, we were just talking about confidence. I feel like this person knows that you're not going to just settle down with someone just to settle down with them, right? Like this person has to really bring something amazing to the plate, or else you're not going to mess with them, right? And I feel like there's this acknowledgement of, well, I have to level up and I have to become more confident in myself and I have to grow, or else they're not going to want to be involved with me, right? Because it takes a very special person to swoop you off your feet, because again, you are self-reliant, you enjoy your alone time. So it has to be someone who really adds to your life to bring you out of that, right? It's kind of giving hermit energy, very, very Virgo, right? For some of you guys, maybe you're also someone who has Capricorn placements, but with the number 17 Python, discernment, detachment, transformation, and renewal. So Pythons love to, and they have to, shed their skin in order to survive. If they don't molt, they will die. And I feel like it's the same thing for you. If you don't evolve, if you don't keep transforming or keep growing into the person that you're meant to be, you'll become stifled, and it's not going to do any good for you, and you realize that, right? I feel like this individual would say that you're someone who handles change very, very gracefully. I feel like you're someone who's very gracious when it comes to maybe having to move, or maybe having to start over brand new at a new job, or maybe even in an entirely new line of study, right? I just feel like you're someone who braces themselves and who rolls with the punches, right? That's very much what they keep saying, is they roll with the punches. Even when life is very hard or very difficult, I feel like you're someone who still succeeds and you still shine, right? I definitely feel like this person, though, would describe you as someone who's constantly evolving and constantly growing, constantly updating themselves, so to speak, as well. Almost like you're a piece of hardware, like constantly updating, like a computer. But I feel like you're someone who likes to make sure that you're growing and that you're evolving in certain circumstances and that you're not staying stagnant or stuck, right? Now, also with discernment and detachment, remember how I was saying earlier that you're someone who likes to kind of keep to yourself and kind of likes to stay on your own and do your own thing? That's very much what detachment is kind of reminding me of, is that sometimes you can feel a little bit distant or a little bit detached. For some of you guys, I definitely feel like maybe you also have struggled with maybe chronic illness, or, maybe you have a disability as well. But I feel like they would describe you as someone who's very strong and you don't let your disability define you. And that is a beautiful, beautiful thing to have said about you, right? It's almost like this admiration that you're someone who, even with all of these things that are seemingly against you, right, you still make it into something beautiful and you turn those into blessings. There's very much this energy of them describing you as someone who has the Midas touch, someone who can turn anything that they touch into gold. And I really do feel like that's the energy here, is that they would describe you as very successful and someone who is going to have the world at their feet one day, right? But with discernment, again, I feel like you're someone who definitely trust their gut instincts, and if they feel something that's a little bit strange or a little bit weird about someone, they disconnect, right? There's not any room for if, ands, buts, or ors, right? There's just this energy of you go towards what feels good for you. Now, going forward, how else would they describe you? We have Ladybug, good luck. Oh, you are bright energy. Let worry go and be happy here and now. Yes, feel good about being a loving and colorful you. You bless the world with color and good luck. Beautiful. I feel like maybe this individual kind of describes you as their good luck charm, right? That maybe ever since you came into their life, they've experienced a lot of good luck, abundance, happiness, fortune. They just see you as someone, though, who is very lucky and someone who turns fate in their favor, so to speak. I guess would be the best way of saying it. But you're someone who definitely can change things to your greater good. You are a very bright energy as well. I feel like you're very uplifting, especially to your friends and family members. I feel like you are a good listening ear. You're an active and participating audience for anyone who needs it. I also feel like you're very captivating with your energy too, because it's almost like a shot of espresso. Basically, when you enter the room, everyone can sense it and everyone can feel this overwhelming happiness and this energy just uplifting, this mood just shifting. It's almost as if once you walk into the room or you step into an area, it's almost as if you brighten the way or you light it up. Again, very much giving that hermit energy of you holding this lantern and lighting your own way. And I feel like they really appreciate that about you as well. That's something that they would definitely describe you as, is someone who is a light bringer, someone who is very sweet, someone who's very bubbly as well. Maybe you're also someone who's incredibly funny, and that's also a good way of you uplifting people and making things a little less serious. There's kind of this energy too of, you know when to take things seriously, but you also know when to maybe crack a joke so you can lighten the mood, right? There's very much this energy of maybe being a little bit of comic relief for those around you. But notice how this ladybug is on this. It almost looks like a leaf to me. And it almost reminds me of like a fall time leaf, right? And it's very much giving this energy of, as the ladybug is being like drifted around in the air on this leaf, it's just kind of letting go and it's flowing with the wind, with the leaf, just kind of allowing the universe to take it wherever it needs to go. And I feel like that's also something this person would tell their friends and family about you, is that you just kind of go with the flow. You're happy no matter what. You go wherever the wind takes you, right? But I also feel like you kind of march to the beat of your own drum. And that's another thing that they really love and appreciate about you. So going forward onto your next two cards, these are some more descriptors this person would use. So we have number 6, Beaver Spirit, and number 49, Rabbit Spirit. Beautiful. Oh my goodness, now is a lucky time. So again, another card that is focused on luck and good fortune. They see you as someone who's very abundant as well. For some of you guys, maybe you work with the law of attraction, and maybe they're noticing that all of these blessings just keep coming your way. And I think it's because of that. I think you're honestly really tapped in with spirit, and maybe that's another thing this person would say. I feel like this individual would also say that you'd make an incredible parent, that you would be wonderful as a mom or dad to their future children, or, maybe if this person is a single parent or you're a single parent, I feel like they acknowledge that you are an amazing caretaker and someone who could definitely provide a solid and stable life for children, right? But again, remember how I was saying earlier that I feel like children really get drawn to you and really feel pulled to you because of your childlike energy. I feel like that's also why we have this here as well. But with the number 6, Beaver Spirit, the number 6 talks about generosity. It talks about openness as well. Number 6 is also talking about comedians. So again, I feel like you're someone who definitely loves to tell a few jokes, maybe even kind of like dad jokes, just real corny. You love saying puns. I just feel this happy-go-lucky energy, right? For some of you guys, maybe there's this kind of like ditzy sort of bimbo energy, right? Like, how on TikTok, that's like a new trend that's going around, is like bimbofication. I feel like that's kind of the energy that we have here as well, but in the best way, right? I feel like you're also uplifting to other people. You're very understanding. Again, with you being an open, active audience, I feel like you're someone who also gives your perspective and your opinions on a situation. But of course, I feel like you wait until people come to you for advice. It's not like you're the type of person to just be like, excuse me, Amanda, I need to tell you about what you're doing wrong in your life. Like, no, I definitely feel like your friends and family members feel comfortable with you because you're very gentle about it. You're very loving, you're very compassionate, and you're very understanding. You know, I feel like you really take your time to understand a situation and understand someone's feelings as well. But with Beaver Spirit, lay a solid foundation. Yes, I definitely feel like this person sees you as someone who's very established in their own life, someone who is building a solid foundation for themselves. I honestly feel like they think that you wouldn't even need them, right? Like, you are building your own house, you're building your own finances, you're building your own life in general. And I very much feel like this individual is like, well, what can I bring to the table? Like, what do they need me to bring, right? Because they see you as someone who has it all figured out. Even if you don't, they see you as someone who has a grand master plan and is sticking to it every step of the way. They see you as someone who is achieving a lot in their career and in their personal life as well. You know, but I feel like this person also just really, really wants to have more of your time with you, right? I feel like this individual wants to spend a lot more time with you. I feel like they want to go on dates. They want to take you out. But again, they're kind of like, where do I fit into the equation? Will they even have time for me in their busy schedule, right? Now, going forward onto your next two cards, how else would they describe you? Oh my gosh, there's the Hermit. Yes. Okay, so right off the bat, again, lighting the way, going forward. I feel like this is very much your energy stack one. You know, you are someone who trusts your intuition, you trust the spiritual knowledge that you receive from the universe, and you proceed accordingly. Now, with the Eight of Wands, this also talks about fast forward movement. It very much reminds me of horses, or the energy of horses, right? Where they're constantly go, go, go. They're running forward. They're rushing towards freedom, towards maybe even like creative freedom as well. And I feel like that's the energy we have here. For some of you guys, remember how we were talking about, you know, how maybe in the past you felt trapped in certain situations with this caged bird here. You know, I feel like now you're ready for freedom. You know, you're ready to create your own freedom, create your own life that doesn't have any barriers, that doesn't have any challenges, that doesn't have any restrictions as well, right? For some of you guys, you're stepping into adulthood. Maybe you are moving out for the first time ever, away from your family, and maybe that's been very liberating, is to live on your own. For some of you guys, maybe you went to college, you got in your own dorm. For others, you know, maybe you have established this whole life for yourself, and you've kind of looked around and been like, yeah, I did this by myself and I'm very proud. You know, it's not to say that people didn't help you along the way, but for the most part, I feel like you've had to rely on yourself, on your instincts, on your intuition, on your gut as well. And I feel like it's really led you to some beautiful opportunities, or it is leading you to them, right? But again, they see you as someone who's very self-sufficient, someone who likes their alone time, someone who likes doing things by themselves, kind of taking time to just focus on their own things. But they also don't see that as a bad thing. They see that as honestly a blessing. They know that you know who you are, right? There's not this worry that once they start dating you, you're going to change up and become someone else, because they know you, right? Or at least they know this version of you before they learn the next version of you, right? As you're growing and you're evolving and you're discovering more of yourself. But I feel like this person sees you as someone who is very, not to say predictable, but I feel like you have a routine even while you go off and do your own thing or discover new paths by yourself. You know, they can still know that they can write to you and you will respond, right? It's kind of like that universal constant that you'll always be in their life. And they really appreciate that, right? I feel like this person finds a lot of comfort in your energy and knowing that you're always there for them, right? Now, going forward, how else would they describe you? We have she who brings light, Blanche, I'm going to say Branch, Blanche, light, serenity, or beacon. And then we also have she who unfolds, Etrid, Yeah, nailed it. Swap, embrace, and self-care. Yeah, so again, I definitely feel like this person sees you as someone who takes care of themselves, who, has self-care days where maybe you go to the spa, maybe you get your nails done, maybe you get your hair done. There's just this energy of always being well put together, always taking care of yourself, and always wanting to focus on your mental and physical well-being, right? But again, you are someone who brings light. I love that we literally just had the Hermit, and now we're talking about light again, light, serenity, and beacon. You are a beacon of hope to other people. While you are going forward and lighting the way, it's kind of interesting because I feel like your person would describe you as having a lot of people that look up to you, right? Regardless of what it is that you're doing. Some of you might be spiritual advisors. Maybe you work with tarot cards or oracle cards. Maybe you have your own YouTube or TikTok where you do that, or maybe you just have a social media where you post your talents, or maybe you post your art. Whatever that might be, I feel like this person sees you as a leader and sees you as someone who is leading the rest of the pack, right? Because if this Hermit were to look around, this man would see that there were many people following behind very closely, right? And I feel like that's very much your energy, that you are this beacon of hope and this beacon of light and happiness and kindness. And I feel like this individual honestly would say that they've become a better person because you've been in their life. As silly as that sounds, I feel like you've taught them a lot, not only about themselves, but about taking care of themselves, about self-care, about having days just for themselves. Maybe this individual was constantly overworked, they're constantly working, they never took a day off, and maybe you came in and you're like, hey, you need to have days off every now and again. You need to take care of yourself, right? That's not healthy. And I feel like that really clicked for this individual. Oh, I do need to take better care of myself, right? But, again, I just feel like there's this energy of they see you as thriving, as taking care of yourself, as nurturing yourself. And they really, really love that. They find it very attractive, the fact that you can take care of yourself. And look so good doing it, right? I feel like this person finds you very, very attractive. I feel like this person loves looking at your pictures online or your selfies as well. It's almost like they study your face, which, okay, it's kind of strange, but it's also kind of cute, right? I feel like this individual would say that you're someone who has a very ethereal beauty as well. Maybe you're someone who loves doing contour on your cheeks or on your jawbone, but there's definitely this very defined look about you. It's almost very sharp, right? Now, going forward, how would this person describe you in general? So we have the Ace of Wands in the reverse, the Moon card in the reverse, the Four of Cups in the upright, the Seven of Chalices in the reverse, the Five of Swords in the reverse, and the Ten of Coins in the upright. Okay, so right off the bat, I definitely feel like this person would say that you're not involved with drama. I feel like this person recognizes that you don't like messy situations, you don't like messy encounters or people. I feel like you stay on the up and up pretty much. You might even not like watching a lot of TV shows that are what's the word, drama or gossipy. I feel like you don't like trash TV, right? And those of you that kind of do, I feel like it's kind of like a guilty pleasure. You don't go out of your way to talk to people about it. I can't see, Stack One, you going up to someone and being like, oh my God, did you see the newest episode of the Kardashians? I just don't feel like that's your vibe, Stack One, right? I feel like if anything, maybe Stack One watches more documentaries or tutorials, or, maybe watches a lot of things on YouTube as well. I just feel like there's a very specific or very niche things that you love, and you put your whole existence into that, right? Or it's not like you make your identity that, but it's very much you become immersed in it, right? So you might have very specific things that you like to watch. Maybe some of you guys in this pile, you love to watch those scuba divers that went scuba diving in Chernobyl. Maybe you watch that. But there's just this energy of you focusing on the things that you love and knowing what it is that you like and knowing what it is that you don't, right? I feel like they very much love how specific you are as well, and how picky you are, so to speak, especially with partners. Again, you aren't going to just jump into a relationship or jump into a situation just because you feel maybe lust towards someone, or because you maybe feel pulled to someone. That's not it. You're going to be with someone because you genuinely genuinely love them, because you genuinely care about them, you genuinely like them as a person, right? I feel like you have to get to know someone before you can become completely invested or completely involved, right? Especially when it comes to like money matters, right? I feel like you're someone who's very responsible with your money, and they see you as that. You know, they might tell other people like, I need to get better with my money because they're already doing so good. Like, I'm sure this person has savings accounts, and I'm sure they're saving for the future and saving for their children's futures. Like, I just feel like people see you as someone who's very wise with your spending, right? But with the Four of Cups here and the Seven of Chalices in the reverse, it's interesting because I feel like your person would say to other people that you, again, probably won't even need them in your life, or you might not want them, but they're scared that you would reject them. They're scared that you would turn them away for other options. And it's interesting because I feel like they would say to people, like, I know there's no other options. Like, I know this person doesn't have anyone else in their life currently that they're romantically involved with. Maybe you guys have already had that conversation about, like, is there anyone you're talking to or anyone that you like? But I feel like this person is very secure in that, but they're also scared because they're like, am I enough though? Am I the one cup that this person would very gladly take? Because, you know, again, you have the career, you have the home life, you know, you have your self-care, you know, you have everything that you already need already. But this person in the background, your person, is just kind of like, you know, all I can offer is kindness and love, and, you know, maybe going on dates and offering some laughter. You know, it's not much, but it's what I can give. And I feel like maybe this person's holding back, or there's this energy of they have to keep their passion and their love for you kind of a secret because they don't want to scare you away. They don't want to sacrifice this or jeopardize this relationship or, you know, ruin anything. And it's funny because they might also say to people that, you know, they think honestly that maybe you'd even say yes to them, but at the same time, maybe they're scared that you would find out later on that you don't like them, right? And again, I feel like you're very cutthroat, like brutal, you're very truthful, but in a very sweet and gentle way. So it's almost like, yeah, I know we've been going out together and I've had a lot of fun, but it's just not going to work for me anymore. So thank you for the time we spent together, but we're not going to be together anymore. You know, like, it's very blunt, but it's also very loving and out of a place of care and sweetness as well. But this person, again, is just very scared that you would potentially reject them, whether that's right off the bat or way into the relationship. You know, I feel like they're scared that this could potentially be jeopardized, and they're just happy with you in their life, right? But with the 10 of Coins here, they know that you guys could be a very successful couple together. They see you as a power couple. It's almost like you guys could be like business partners as well. You know, maybe this person's very creative too, and they see you guys as sharing that, you know, and maybe you guys could share the same not necessarily job or career, but, you know, maybe you guys have similar interests or similar jobs so that way you could help each other. Like, let's say both of you do work from home jobs, right? So they envision this life where you guys are together, you know, you're in separate rooms in the house, but you're still together, you're still in the same vicinity, right? Maybe for some of you guys, you're both artists. So, you know, while this person is painting, maybe you're writing poetry, or, you know, however that might look for you guys. Maybe one of you guys does TikToks and one of you guys does YouTube, right? But there's definitely this energy of them envisioning a future and saying, we could make it work. We could be very successful with this relationship. Like, we could have a lot of blessings coming our way, and really acknowledging it, especially when people ask, you know. But I feel like, again, they're saying, I'm kind of scared. Like, I'm nervous to ask them out. I'm nervous to take that next step because, again, what if they said no? Or what if they found out they just didn't like me anymore, right? Like, what if they think suddenly, oh, this person's a nut, I don't want to hang out with them anymore, right? And I feel like that's where they get really scared, and that's where they get really nervous. So going forward onto your next few cards, these are talking about how your person would describe you to their friends. So we have the Queen of Chalices, the Six of Swords, the Princess of Chalices, the Four of Swords in the reverse, the Hanged Man in the reverse, and the Queen of Swords in the upright. Interesting. Okay. So how would they describe you to their friends? Again, they would say that you're very gentle, you're very loving, you're very unconditionally loving, you're very understanding. You know, I feel like you're someone who can see the best in others. You you know, you love animals as well. Maybe you're someone who loves to whistle and you love to whistle at birds outside. You know, maybe you're someone who also loves flowers. Maybe you have a lot of plants in your house. Maybe you have pothos, maybe you have violets, maybe you have aloe. I'm trying to think. I also feel like you guys have a lot of, you know, just flowers inside of your house. Maybe you have fake flowers, you know, maybe you have vases that are filled with those, you know, just to kind of bring added brightness to the house. I feel like they would say that you're someone who decorates very nicely as well. Again, you get cleaned up very well. I feel like you're someone who would take care of them when they're sick. And that's another thing that they would tell their friends is like, I don't have to worry because my person would take care of me. You know, my person, they know how to cook soup, like they know how to make grilled cheese, they know how to do this, they know how to do that. Like, I feel like this person really boasts about you. I feel like they really brag. You know, I feel like you're really the hot topic, so to speak, right? But with the Six of Swords, I feel like they get a lot of pressure from their friends to just ask you out already. Like, why aren't you guys going out? Why aren't you guys making this more serious? Send them a message. Just shoot them a message, right? And I feel like this person is like, yeah, well, and it's almost like their friends have to really hype them up and be like, come on, man, like you can do this, just do it. You've been thinking about this person for so long, just go out there and ask them, right? And I feel like this person is at the point where honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if you are going out on a date with them soon, or if they reach out to you soon, because I feel like their friends really have been hyping you up. But there's also this energy of them saying like, I'm waiting for the right time. I'm waiting until this person isn't busy. I'm waiting until this person's schedule is free. But I feel like their friends are again being like, come on, like just do it. Like, this has been a long time coming. For some of you guys, maybe you've been friends for a while, or maybe you've known each other for a while, and they've literally just been waiting for the perfect opportunity. But I feel like their friends keep saying to them, there is no such thing as a perfect opportunity. You just have to grow some balls, right? And I feel like that's a very specific quote for like one of them. It's just like, you have to get some confidence and go do this and take the bull by the horns and not be so scared all the time, right? Not be so scared that you're going to be broken up with. And I feel like maybe also they're saying like, that they need to be more assertive, that maybe their friends think that this person would win your heart by being more assertive. And maybe that's also something that they say is like, no, like this person loves when I'm sweet, when I'm gentle, when I'm also showing that same energy back. But again, I feel like they would say that they're very scared because while you can be very sweet, I feel like on the other end, you can also be very stern and very serious and, you know when to be serious, right? Know when to be serious, when to be sweet. Another thing that they might tell their friends as well is that you're someone who, again, might have come out a period of rest or relaxation or taking time just for themselves, and maybe this person is saying, I'm waiting for them to write to me first. But again, there's a lot of pressure from their friends whenever this person talks about you. It's like immediately as soon as they're like, oh yeah, I was talking to Jessica the other day. And then they're like, well, why didn't you ask Jessica out? There's just this energy of them being like, come on, like we're tired of hearing about this unless you actually do something. And maybe that's also been kind of the boiling point or what's going to push this person towards coming to you, right, with this offer. Now, going forward onto your next few cards, these are talking about how this person would describe you to their family members. So we have number 6, the Lovers. We have number 10, the Wheel of Fortune, the 3 of Pentacles, the 9 of Pentacles, and the 9 of Wands. Wow, we have 2 9s here. Okay, so right off the bat, 9s again is kind of a callback to your overall energy, talking about how you're someone who's very successful, that you're someone who is very independent, you love your alone time, but you're also someone who's very resilient. You can stand on your own 2 feet. You can do things without other people. You can be successful by yourself. I feel like, honestly, their family really, really loves what they hear about you. It's almost as if you have been the most promising partner that this person's ever had or ever been excited about, so to speak. I also feel like with the 9 of Wands, they've been hearing from this person that you're a very hard worker, that you go the distance, that you give 110% of yourself to every project that you're on as well, even if it means that you're going to exhaust yourself or you're going to feel tired. You know, I feel like this individual also told their family that you're someone who's very good at saving money, but you're also someone who's constantly growing and evolving, someone who is constantly learning yourself. You know, I also feel like maybe this individual has talked to their family members about the potential of you guys having a family one day, or that they would want to, that they'd see you as being a perfect partner that could raise a child with them. There's just a lot of love here, a lot of very much kind of saying as well that maybe you are the perfect person for them, or maybe you are their right path, right? So to speak, it's almost like they're saying that they know they're going the right way or the right places in life because you're going to be by your side, if that makes sense. But I feel like this person also has come forward with a lot of confusion or a lot of hesitancy with their family as well. Like, yeah, I feel like they'll say a lot of really good things about you, but I feel like they'll also hold back a lot more. Like, I feel like with their friends, they're just kind of like, yeah, here's a laundry list of everything we talked about and like what she said to me or what he said to me, or, you know, what they're planning on doing with us, or blah, 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 blah. Like, I just feel like this individual just goes on and on and on and on and on, like the Energizer Bunny with their friends. But with their family, they're a little bit more reserved, they're a little bit more quiet, they're a little bit more hesitant. You know, I feel like maybe there's also this energy of they don't want to jinx things, or they don't want to go too fast when it comes to their family. You know, maybe with their friends all know that they're so smitten, they're so head over heels for you, but then their family is like, yeah, you know, they like this person, you know? And I feel like the other vibe is, for some of you guys, maybe the family has also been saying, well, maybe you should bring them around, you know, maybe we should meet them. And I feel like that kind of scares your person if you haven't met them already. And if you have met them, I feel like this person was terrified when you first met that maybe their family would say something embarrassing or make mention that they really, really like you, or things like that. Or, you know, even the opposite way. Maybe their family would make mention like, oh yeah, I haven't heard that much about you. You know, I just feel like this person's really nervous, you know, about bringing you around, or, you know, about their family getting involved. For some of you guys, I feel like maybe this person, this is a very select few, but maybe your person doesn't have like the greatest family unit ever, and maybe that's why they hold back as well, because they just kind of are like, this is my gift, like this is my blessing of having this person in my life. I'm not going to, one, expose this person to my messed up family unit and potentially scare them off, but two, I'm also not going to, you know, put my family members anywhere near this beautiful gift before I know that this is something solid and set in stone, right? For some of you guys, I honestly feel like this person is waiting until you guys are dating to tell their family a lot more about you, right? But there is a little bit of hesitancy and a little bit of nervousness when it comes to their family knowing about you. But I definitely feel like they show maybe pictures to like a mother or even to their sister. I feel like those who have a sister, you know, they really do show off your photos, maybe even to their brother as well. But there's definitely this energy of this person being very hesitant. So overall, how would this person describe their connection with you? The Hanged Man. So yeah, they would definitely say that there is more to be desired. You know, they're definitely holding themselves back right now, but they're excited to make an offer. They're excited to try to take you out. They're excited to kind of ritz you up, right? Because I feel like this individual sees both of you guys as very enlightened people, you know, people who are very spiritually aware, people who are very connected with nature as well. But again, I feel like this individual is just waiting until the perfect moment, waiting until the time is right, waiting until they get some kind of green light from you. For some of you guys, maybe it's as simple as, you know, dropping hints to them and being like, yeah, I wish someone would take me on a date. Or I don't know, this person just needs some form of sign or clue or sign, and just a big traffic sign like, please take me out on a date. I don't know, this person's just very oblivious, right? Even if you have dropped hints before that you really like them, I feel like this person's just very oblivious. And very, very scared, very, very nervous, very frightened. I feel like this person gets very scared over the idea of being truthful about their feelings with you. So it's very sweet, very cute, very wholesome. But I feel like this person's going to take their time. You know, again, they're waiting for the right opportunity to kind of start something new with you, right? So I hope that you enjoyed this stack one. Definitely let me me know in the comments down below what you think though, and if you enjoyed this reading, also make sure to leave a thumbs up on this video. Also, make sure to hit subscribe if you have not already, and press that little bell icon to be notified every time I upload a brand new reading. But I hope you guys are doing amazing, Stack One, staying in good health and taking care of yourselves, and I hope I have the honor to see you in the next reading I do. Bye for now, Stack One! Hello to everyone who picked Stack 2. Let's get right into your reading and see what did they say about you to others and how would they describe you. So right off the bat, I love the fact that you chose the Playing with Fire card with the Butterfly Charm. I definitely feel like you guys have a very distinct sense of fashion. You guys have a very unique way of dressing yourself as well. You might be someone who wears very high heels, or someone who wears very chunky boots, or, you know, just very distinctive clothing. You might wear something along the lines of, you know, with checkerboard or with dogtooth pattern. Maybe you're someone who keeps up to date in different fashions or styles. For others of you, maybe you dress very cute or kind of kawaii style, where you have like a lot of bows, or maybe you have a lot of beads in your hair, or, you know, maybe you wear a lot of necklaces, a lot of bracelets. There's just this energy of really expressing yourself through your outer appearances, through your hair as well. Some of you guys might be doing space buns. Some of you guys might be really working with your curl patterns to make them more defined and more pronounced, working with your hair to really create unique different styles and shapes. And I just feel like you're really playing around with it, right? You're really playing around with your looks. For some of you guys, it's also in regards to makeup. Maybe you're trying new makeup styles, defining your eyebrows in different ways. For some of you guys, maybe you've shaved your eyebrows off and you're completely tattooing them on, or, you know, doing things like that. For others, maybe you've gotten permanent tattoo makeup. There's just this energy of really loving your identity and how you look on the outside, feeling very confident in yourself, feeling very vivacious, feeling very good in your own skin, right? For a lot of you guys in this pile as well, it gives kind of a slim, thick vibe, or maybe you're someone who's very curvy, you know, just kind of big, beautiful women or men in this pile, right? I feel like you have more to love, and that's also something that they would tell others. Like, they are built in all the right places. Like, I just feel like this person is constantly saying, like, talking with their hands and being like, this person is it. This person is mind-blowingly beautiful or handsome or gorgeous. There's just this energy of like them looking at your pictures, them showing off your pictures to their friends and family members as well. Like, I feel like they're very proud of you. Like, they're very confident in this connection. They're very proud of the way that you look, the way that you show yourself off. I feel like this person is very proud of your career as well. Maybe some of you guys are aspiring actresses or actors. Maybe you are a model. Maybe you are someone who is just kind of wanting to be an entrepreneur, wanting to put yourself out there. For some of you guys, maybe it's like a dream to have like a van life sort of a thing, where you just kind of travel the world. You love to go on adventures. You love to experience anything at least once. And I feel like that's another thing that they would say to their friends and family members. I feel like you really push them to go outside of their comfort zone, or that's the vibe that you kind of give or bring to the table, is that you want people to feel a little uncomfortable. You want people to try things that are out of the norm, because that's what you do as well. And it's not like a pushy thing. It's not something that's forceful. I feel like you're very understanding, and you're very sweet and very gentle and kind and compassionate to those that you love and those that you know. But I feel like to people that don't know you, you might come off as kind of blunt, or you might come off as kind of serious, or very straight to the point, or very one-track minded. But I feel like that couldn't be any further from the truth, right? I feel like this individual would always say as well, like, wow, this person is so hot, because playing with fire, yeah, I definitely feel like they're saying this person is hot, you know, this person is very sexy, this person has everything that I could possibly want in a partner as well. Like, they're very intelligent, they're very well read, this person is very book smart. You know, for some of you guys, maybe you also really love sports, and that's something that they really love as well. For some of you, maybe you're into basketball or baseball, you know, maybe even football. But there's this energy of liking a bunch of different things. For some of you guys, maybe it's literally like NASCAR or racing cars or go-karts. Maybe this person thinks that you'd be fun to take on a go-kart date as well, right? You know, maybe you're very competitive when it comes to different things too. You love winning games. You love being the winner. And I feel like that's another thing that they really enjoy about you, is that you do have this competitive streak, right? I feel like also, Stack 2, you can be a little bit stubborn, but I feel like this person thinks that's really cute and really funny. If anything, I just kind of hear them laughing about it. Like, yeah, they're really funny. Like, they're so stuck in their ways. Like, I could see the two of you guys coming together in a relationship and you being like, okay, I always use Charmin Ultra Soft toilet paper. And this person being like, no, we're going to use like the strongest toilet paper ever. And you're like, absolutely not. No. And you just grab the extra soft and you take it, right? But I feel like they think that's funny. You know, I feel like they think that it's awesome that you know what it is that you want and you know what it is that you like as well. For others of you, maybe there's like discussions on different artists. Like maybe you're a total Swiftie and maybe your person isn't as much, but you really are starting to convince them and you're starting to make them into a Swiftie. There's just this energy of when they're with you, you know, them trying new things or them experiencing new things, or you opening their mind or their eyes to new experiences or new ideas or new songs. I feel like music is very important to this pile as well. They might say that you have good musical taste. You know, maybe you guys also, as a part of your love language, share playlists with each other, and I feel like that's something that they mention to their friends. I also feel like for some of you guys, maybe there's like a mechanical kind of vibe to this with the butterfly, where maybe you can fix anything. Like, let's say your vacuum cleaner broke, you look it up and you find out how to fix it, and then you fix it yourself, right? Maybe for some of you guys as well, like you're just capable enough to handle anything. Like your sink in your kitchen could break and you look up how to fix it and you fix it yourself, right? You don't need someone to come in and help you fix things. I mean, it is nice, you know, you like the help, but you're also someone who's like, I don't want to wait around until it gets fixed. Like, I can do it right now for myself for free, right? And I feel like that's another thing that they really like. Now, another thing too is with I Want to Play, they see you as someone who's very playful, who's very funny, who is always making jokes. I keep hearing like smartass, like you're a smart aleck, like, you know, I feel like you don't care. You'll just kind of have a good time. You know, you'll make jokes. You'll laugh along with your friends, and you know, you let your hair down, and you don't care who listens. You don't care who watches you when you dance. You know, it's just kind of like you're living this life for yourself. You're not living it for other people, right? And they really, really love that. But again, very, very confident energy here. So going on to your first two cards, this is how they're going to describe you to other people. So we have the number 35, Orange Blossom Jellyfish, and number 29, Wild Horse. Wow, okay, beautiful. So right off the bat, I love that we still have a lot of orange here. Again, orange is a very playful, very bright, very vivacious, vibrant color. They see you as someone who's very vibrant, you know, someone who is very well decorated as well, is kind of what I keep hearing. Like, again, with the eye makeup, maybe some of you guys love putting like charms or crystals like around your eyes. Maybe you love putting like highlighter on your cheekbones. Maybe some of you guys have a lot of tattoos as well. But again, I feel like there's just this draw to like physical appearance, and you look unlike anyone that they've ever met before, but in the best way possible, right? I feel like they would just describe you as being so gorgeous on the inside and out. Like, I can't stress that enough. Now, with the number 35 being the number 8, again, they see you as someone who has a very fast-moving, fast-paced energy, which again goes into Wild Horse. Someone who strives and makes those leaps and bounds towards your goals, towards your ambitions, towards the things that you want. You know, you don't care if you have to play with fire to be able to get there. I feel like those that pick Stack 2, you know, you are someone who is capable of climbing those mountains. You have all the tools and all the knowledge needed to get you to a really good place in life, right? And I feel like that's how this person would also describe you. They see you as someone who is very intelligent, you know, someone who has the resources available to be able to do anything that you want, pretty much. You know, I feel like also with the number 8, they see you as someone who's very enlightened. You know, they see you as someone who, even though you're very fast-paced and fast-forward moving, they still see you as a very spiritual being, right? But also with horses, I feel like freedom is very important for you. Maybe you've been single for a long time, you know, maybe you really appreciate and enjoy your freedom. You know, maybe you see relationships not necessarily as a bad thing, but you're just kind of like, well, I want it to be a really good person. Otherwise, you know, I'm too busy for that, right? it's kind of giving pile one vibes, but at the same time, it's very different. You know, I feel like this pile is more, it's very, very look based. Like, I feel like this person really brags about how beautiful you are, especially your eyes. I feel like your eyes are very wide. You have very beautiful eyelashes, very long eyelashes. Some of you might even get like eyelash lifts or eyelash extensions. But there's definitely this energy of you looking really good, you smelling really good as well. You smell so sweet to them is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. But with the number 11 being here with the number 29, again, you're also someone who's very balanced. You know how to balance your divine masculine and your divine feminine energies, you know, so I feel like you're never just in one energy. But if anything, I feel like you're someone who also really loves going into their divine masculine energy, someone who loves being headstrong and confident in themselves and, you know, pursuing their worldly career, right? You know, I feel like you're also someone who loves your possessions around you, and not in a bad way. You know, I just feel like there's a lot of pride in, I worked really hard to have X, Y, and Z, and now I have it, right? And I feel like that's another thing that this person would comment on, is the fact that, you know, you work hard for everything that you have as well. You know, this hasn't always been an easy road, but you've continued regardless. You know, they would also say that you're someone who's very adventurous. I feel like you love to travel a lot. Remember how we were talking about that sort of van life vibe earlier? I feel like they would talk about you to others that you are not only a trendsetter and someone who is constantly kind of doing things before other people in a sense, but I feel like you're also well traveled. You know, you love to go around, you love to explore, you love to experience new places, new cultures, new languages as well. Some of you guys might be bilingual, or maybe you have in your heritage just a lot of different cultures just all behind you in your genealogy. And I feel like that's another thing that you really love to explore, is your own heritage and your own genealogy. But with orange blossom jellyfish, it says transparency, sensitivity, surrender, and illumination. So again, you know, I feel like you illuminate your within your truth, right? And with this passion and with this excitement and with this fun, I feel like you're someone who is very, very fun loving. You know, you're someone who people could take to like a wedding or to a bar or just to a concert even, and you'll be yelling, you'll be dancing, you'll be having a good time, you'll be having fun. You know, you're just a blast to be around. And that's, I feel like, something else that they say to their friends and family members, that you're just a lot of fun to be around. Now, also with transparency and sensitivity, I feel like this individual knows that you're a very sensitive being at heart. Even though you come off as very stoic, very serious, very stone-faced, and very brave-faced, I feel like they can look at you and they instantly know what emotions you're feeling, right? I feel like this person very easily picks up on your energy, but I feel like at the same time, you feel your emotions so intensely that maybe it's like almost like when you're feeling sad, it all just washes over your body, right? It's almost like an instant blue that just coats your body, so to speak. And I feel like this person can pick up on that. It's almost like a complete energy shift because you feel things so vividly and so deeply. Now, another thing too with surrender, I feel like, again, you just surrender yourself to the situation that you're in, and you don't think twice about letting your hair down and having a good time. And they love that about you. I feel like you're also very outspoken, you know, whereas the other piles might come off a little bit more reserved. I feel like you're someone who is very much like, no, this is what I want, this is what we're doing. But I feel like, again, they really, really enjoy that about you, that you know what it is that you want. You know, you're not going to be indecisive. You're not going to be confused about where it is that you're going or what it is that you're wanting. Like, you know exactly what it is that you want. And especially when it comes to people that you like, I feel like you go towards them and you're like, no, I want you. I know I want you. Like, you're sweet, you're kind, you're gentle, like you're everything I want in a partner. Bam, you're mine now. And I feel like this person, you know, maybe sees you as kind of like claiming what is yours. You know, maybe you can be a little bit protective of the people that you love as well. I feel like you would go through hell or high water to protect those that you loved. And I feel like that's another thing that this person would say, is that you're a very, very protective being to those that you care about. But also with Wild Horse, freedom, sensitivity, spirit, and partnership, they see you as the perfect partner. I feel like this person sees you as kind of like their mirror soul as well. You guys don't have to be twin flames, but it's almost like this vibe of like they know you before. Like they knew you in a past life. They knew you many lifetimes prior to this, and they're coming back around. It's like coming full circle and meeting up again, right? But there's this inner knowingness of I've known you before, and maybe that's also something you guys are going to talk about or have talked about. But again, I love that we have two cards here, both Wild Horse and Orange Blossom Jellyfish, that talk about sensitivity. I feel like not everyone knows about your sensitivity. It's not like you just wear your heart on your sleeve. Even though you're very calm and sweet and gentle towards those you love, you know, I feel like in the hustle and bustle of daily life and daily living, I feel like you can be a little bit of a hard cookie to crack, right? But in the best way. And I feel like that's why this person feels so excited that they can see your sensitivities and that they can see how vividly you feel your emotions, right? Because not everyone sees that. Maybe some people see you and it's almost like you have like an RBF or like resting bitch face, right? You're just like, I don't know, maybe you're just always frowning. I associate with that because I'll just be doing my own thing and then I'll have someone be like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm happy." Like it's just that's just my face, right? But I feel like most people would see you as someone who's very reserved, very like stoic, very non-emotional, right? But I feel like that couldn't be any further from the truth. I feel like you are a very sensitive being. I feel like you feel your emotions very, very deeply, and they really affect you as well, right? And that's something this person would say they find very lovely is the fact that you feel your emotions so deeply, even though you don't always express it or you don't always tell people, you know, you still feel it. Oh my gosh, another horse. So we have Unicorn, infinite possibilities. You are the sovereign of the seen and unseen worlds. The magic of love surrounds you. Oh, beauty transforms you. Listen to the spirits of light, abandon the darkness, go beyond the ordinary, and become the legendary. Yes, that is exactly what I was trying to tell you earlier with that. You are completely different from anyone else that they have met because everyone else is kind of ordinary, everyone else is kind of mid, and then they see you and they're like, oh my gosh, it's almost like a unicorn in a herd of horses, right? And it's almost like finding you is like finding a needle in a haystack. They don't know how they did it, but they're glad that they did. Another thing, look, there's butterflies in this as well, and we literally have the butterfly charm. That is crazy. So yeah, I feel like you've been through a lot of transformation in your life. You know, you've been someone who has had to really roll with the punches and really take things as they come. But at the same time, I really feel like you're someone who has evolved so greatly and you know your potential, you know what it is that you're supposed to be doing in this world as well. Again, you know, I feel like you have abandoned the darkness, abandoned anything that was kind of tough, the trials and tribulations. You've taken the knowledge with you, but you've abandoned those harsh feelings because again, you feel your emotions so deeply that if anything, it would be detrimental to continue to harbor these emotions. So I feel like you're someone who keeps very good mental and spiritual health. You know, I feel like you do tune-ups every once in a while where you just kind of take inventory and you say, okay, well, I have to get rid of this. I can no longer hold on to this anymore. I have to keep going and lighten my load, right? And I very much feel like this individual is very inspired by that. You have almost helped them learn how to lighten their load as well. You know, but again, with you are the sovereign of the seen and unseen worlds, they definitely see you as someone who's very spiritual, someone who maybe even is like a medium or is a psychic. I feel like that's something that they would mention to other people. You know, maybe you're also someone who they're a little bit scared, like, can you read their mind? Because maybe there's times where you like connect with them or where you finish their sentences or where you say something to them, or maybe you're about to message them and they were just about to message you. But I feel like this individual gets a little scared from time to time because they're almost like, yeah, I know they're spiritual, but like, can they read my mind? Like, do they know what I'm thinking? Like, you know, maybe they get a little scared in that regard, but I feel like they find you very fascinating and a very interesting person that they honestly want to have a connection with. They want to have a partnership with. You are honestly their top tier, like, idea of what a partner is and should be. So going forward onto your next two descriptive cards, we have number 68, Wombat Spirit, be at home, and number 67, Wolf Spirit, turn knowledge into wisdom. Yes, oh my gosh, so we were just talking about this, how you take the knowledge and then you leave everything else behind. That is exactly the wolf spirit, right? But there's also this resilience behind it and the fact that you can fight for what it is that you want. I keep hearing as well, you gotta fight for your right to party. And I feel like maybe that's also your energy as well, you know, where you're someone who, you know, you play hard, but you also work hard as well. You know, maybe you work hard so you can have a good time, so you can let your hair down and, you know, go out to a club every now and again, or, you know, go out to a nice concert or go out to a Broadway show. There's this energy of you not even needing to go with anyone. I feel like you're very happy just going by yourself and like going and seeing a Broadway show, just you. Like I could see you front row seat at like Beetlejuice and it's just you. Like you didn't go with anyone. You're just like, I'm fine being a lone wolf right now. I'm fine doing my own thing. But with the number 13 being the number 4, again, they see you as someone who is very spiritual, someone who definitely can take care of themselves, someone who is connected with the other side, someone who's connected with their ancestors and past loved ones as well. You know, I also feel like too that they see you as someone who's very stable, someone who is building a foundation in their life that they're going to be able to grow upon for many, many years to come. But with number 68, Wombat Spirit, be at home, this is very much saying that this person would describe you as their home. It's almost like you're their home away from home, so to speak. And, you know, I feel like they're also acknowledging and saying to other people that they could be happy doing anything. They could be happy anywhere as long as you're by their side. And yeah, it sounds a little corny, but I really do feel like this person, no matter where you are their heart, you are their home, you are their happiness, right? For some of you guys, maybe you're already in a relationship with this individual, or maybe they've hinted at it, or maybe you've hinted at it, since it seems like you seem to take like a lot of initiative. I feel like you're someone who's very independent. And I feel like you don't shy away from telling people that you like them either, because it's very much like you either like me or you don't like me. It's very easy, it's very simple, just let me know, right? So maybe you've also just kind of dropped hints and been like, yeah, I like you, or you know, we should hang out sometime. You know, maybe you're trying to give them hints so they take the bait and like message you back and say, oh yeah, we can go out on a date or what have you. But again, I feel like this person is saying you're very wise, you're very intelligent, you're very well read, and you're definitely their home. But again, I feel like you're also someone who's very good at interior decorating. You know, maybe someone in this pile as well, maybe someone has like an office space, and if this person works with you, maybe they really love the way that you decorate your office space, right? Or you decorate your cubicle. So going forward onto your next two cards, this is how they would describe you to other people. Wow, the Ace of Cups and the Two of Cups. So right off the bat, again, they want to offer you everything. They want to offer you their love. They want to take care of you. They honestly find you to be like the perfect partner. They see you as their dream partner. I keep hearing as well, if I would be so lucky to have you as my partner. You know, it's almost as if there's this doubt or this worry of, am I even good enough to be on this person's level, right? But they know that you guys are evenly matched. You know, there's this energy again of knowing that you guys have met before in previous lifetimes and feeling so grateful that you guys know each other in this one. And they really do want to offer you the world. I mean, with the Ace of Chalices, this is a brand new beginning in love, you know, wanting to be open, wanting to be vulnerable with you, you know, because especially with the sensitivities that you hold, I feel like this person wants to take care of you. You know, they want to nurture you. They want to kind of baby you in a way, which is so funny because I feel like for a lot of you guys, you're kind of like, I don't need that, right? But I feel like this person is kind of like, I know you don't need it, but I'm going to give you this. I'm going to care for you. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to love on you. You know, this person is just very unconditionally loving and very excited to start something with you. You know, this person wants to move forward towards a relationship, and they've let everyone know, right? Like they've even told their neighbor Timothy, they're like, yeah, Tim, this is the girl, this is the guy, this is it. Like this is the relationship, right? And I feel like this person is, again, very proud of you. I feel like they will very easily acknowledge, I am proud of them, because they have succeeded even in the most difficult of times, even in the hardest of trials or tribulations. This person has been through hell and back and never broke a sweat. This person, you know, is super, super wise beyond their years, and they deserve the whole world, and I'm going to give them the whole world, right? I feel like this person has bragged about you to other people, about, you know, not only how smart you are, but how gorgeous you are, you know, how kind you are, how smitten they are with you. So going forward onto your next 3 cards, these are some more descriptors. So we have she who nurtures, she who battles, and she who loved once. Wow, so it says fragile, secret love, and rejection. Wow, okay, so again, you are very fragile. Even though it doesn't show on the outside or on the surface level, you are very fragile, and this person wants to handle you delicately. It's almost like a box that has fragile signs on it. You know, this person wants to be very sweet and very soft with you. You know, they want to handle you very gingerly. You know, and I feel like they know in their approach that they have to be gentle with you, because you are a very soft and gentle soul, even though you don't always acknowledge that or don't always bring that to light, right? But with secret love and rejection, you know, again, I feel like this person mentions to other people, like, I have liked this person for a while now, I'm scared of rejection, I'm worried. You know, maybe you both are very fragile. You know, I feel like maybe your person as well is very in touch with their sensitivities, is very in touch with their emotions, and that's what also makes them a little bit scared here. But if anything, they're ready to fight for you. Come hell or high water, this person is fighting for you, right? And with she who battles, justice, peace, and commitment, yeah, they're ready to settle down. They're ready to make this commitment with you. They're ready to take this to the next level, because they see you as someone who is very fair in their day-to-day life. They see you as someone who is fighting for yourself, who is on the front lines, just kind of out there, right? For some of you guys, maybe you work in the medical industry or the medical field. For others, maybe you're counselors or therapists. There's just this energy of you fighting and battling for other people. Maybe you work in animal welfare as well. But regardless of whatever it is, they see you out there battling for yourself, for others, for those who have lost their voice, maybe even online. Maybe you do petitions online, you know, but they see that and they want to also fight with you. They want to join you in that. And with she who nurtures, empathy, gentleness, and insight, yeah, again, they would mention that you are someone who is very gentle, very sweet, very empathetic, very understanding of other people's emotions, especially those that you care about. You know, I feel like you're the type of person who maybe you make a lot of, I don't want to say mean jokes, but it's kind of like sassy. Like, you're very sassy with it. And I feel like this individual knows that, you know, the minute that someone takes a joke bad, or the minute that you start to notice that someone's a little bit off, you're going to stop your joking and you're going to immediately go into nurturing mode and take care of that person. You know, especially if you feel like someone's sick around you, you're going to be like, oh, okay, come here, baby. Like, let me take care of you. There's just this nurturing energy, or this other side of you that kind of comes out when it comes to the people that you love. And I feel like they would also mention that. But again, I feel like you do very interesting things with your makeup, you know, that really makes them stand out. Maybe for some of you guys, you use like white eyeliner around your eyes, or, you know, maybe again with the highlights like we were talking about earlier. But I really do feel like they feel drawn to you, you know, in every way imaginable. You know, this person loves your heart, they love your mind, they love your body, they love your soul. You know, this is someone who just wants to take care of you in general. Again, they also see you as someone who's very spiritual, but I think they would mention to people that they've never met someone as beautiful as you are. You know, and almost I feel like they're saying that you're kind of out of their league, and they would never expect that they could bag someone like you. But as time goes on, I think they're kind of coming to the realization that you guys are equals and you guys would do really well together. So going forward onto your next few cards, these are talking about how would they describe you in general. So if even just a random person came up to them on the street and was like, hey, can you describe them to me? This person again would say that you feel like home, you know, the things haven't always been easy for you, that maybe you've experienced a lot of heartbreak or a lot of hardship in the past. Again, for some of you guys, maybe you have a disability, you know, but you are someone who doesn't let that get you down, or doesn't let that kind of control your life, or define who it is that you are. You are someone who constantly pushes through the pain, through the hardship, through the struggle, right? And I feel like they really admire that about you. They would also tell other people, not only are you very strong, But I also feel like you're someone who, again, fights for other people, understands other people around you, but also is someone who is very caring and compassionate and doesn't want to hurt other people, right? Because as beautiful as you are, I feel like this person would say that you're not vain, right? You aren't someone who is full of yourself. You're not someone who's like cutthroat in like hurting other people or hurting how other people feel. I feel like you're very much someone who wants everyone to get along. You want happiness overall, but sometimes I feel like your energy can come off when it's sassy or playful. It can come off a little bit harsh or a little bit brass. And I feel like sometimes people who don't know you can be a little bit not frustrated, but maybe you ruffle a few feathers that way, right? But I also feel like this individual loves that. Like maybe if they were introducing you to a friend, they would be like, hey, this person loves to make jokes. Like don't take anything they say like too seriously. Like this person just loves having a good time. I also feel like this person would say, just because, you don't show your emotions, again, doesn't mean that you're not an emotional person. You very much are, but I also feel like as much as you love posting pictures online or maybe even showing yourself off, there's still a little bit of fear when it comes to putting yourself out there, underneath all of the confidence. I mean, you'd have to dig through like miles and miles and miles of confidence and like vivaciousness and vibrance to get to this. But I feel like it maybe even comes from your inner child. Maybe growing up, you didn't feel like you belonged in regards to your peers. And now that you're older, it's almost like you've created a community for yourself. But even now, there's times where you look around and you say, do I really belong here? Do I deserve all this? And I feel like this individual says to other people, like, yes, they do deserve all this. They actually deserve more. They deserve all the happiness that they can get. Again, I also feel like they tell other people too that you're someone who knows when to take breaks. Maybe you're someone who, again, you love to travel, but maybe sometimes, or maybe even in the future, you're planning on traveling and then just moving, right? Maybe you travel somewhere and then just absolutely love it and then you move. For some of you guys, maybe you're in a long distance relationship with this individual, or maybe this is just a long distance connection in general. Maybe this has been a long distance friend that maybe you met on Discord, maybe you met through a game, maybe you met on an online forum. But I definitely feel like this individual wants to come forward and wants to be with you. They want to potentially get married, settle down, have that happily ever after. The 10 of Cups is literally happily ever after, right? And considering we have that with the Ace of Chalices and the Two of Chalices, it's very much giving happily ever after. This person is my soulmate. This is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. They are viewing you as someone they wouldn't mind settling down with, someone they wouldn't mind having a stable commitment with, right? And how beautiful is that? Now, going forward, how would they describe you to their friends? So we have the Five of Chalices, the Princess of Swords in the reverse, the Queen of Pentacles in the upright, the Judgment card in the upright, and the Hermit card in the reverse. Okay. So right off the bat, they do see you as someone who is very practical, and they mention that to their friends. I feel like they also say to their friends, like, yeah, this person like has a lot of money, or they're set on money, like I don't have to worry about them because they're already making their own income. For some of you guys, there's this energy of maybe their friends being overly cautious or overly worried and saying, like, is this person only into you like for your money or for what you can provide? And I feel like this person is sticking up for you and saying absolutely not. Like, this person doesn't need anything that I can provide. Sorry, I had to burp. But with the Five of Chalices, they're again saying like, this person doesn't need this connection in order to be whole or in order to be happy. And I also feel like, again, you've experienced a lot of heartache, a lot of hardships, but you know how to pick yourself up, how to dust yourself off, and how to continue forward, because you're not just an underdeveloped princess anymore. You are the queen. Like, you are fully developed, you are matured, you know who it is that you are standing firm in your beliefs, and that's what you present as, right? Now, again, I feel like they would mention too that you take your career very seriously, or you take whatever it is that you do very seriously. Maybe even your talents or your hobbies. For some of you guys, maybe you're like a dance instructor, and maybe that's how you make some money, or maybe that's what you're kind of studying in school to be. But regardless, I feel like you're very much answering your call in life. I feel like they tell other people as well that, you know, they almost feel like they've known you in a past life before, but they know that you're in this world for a reason. And, you know, maybe it's to help animals, maybe it's to be a gardener, maybe some of you guys love gardening, right? But there's just this energy of you going towards your goals and going towards things that fulfill your soul, that align with your life's purpose and your life's path. And that's another thing that they tell other people. Another thing too is that, you know, maybe you're someone who loves being in groups of friends. You know, maybe you have a lot of friends, maybe you have a big community already, you know, and maybe this person is saying to their friends as well, like, this person doesn't need any more friends, but, you know, they also don't mind making friends. You know, maybe this person wants to introduce you to their friends, but they're kind of worried what you would think about them and vice versa. You know, I also feel like maybe in a relationship, this person has friends that are scared that once they get into a relationship, that they won't be talking as much anymore, which is kind of funny because I feel like this person brags about you all the time, talks about how proud they are of you, talks about what you guys were doing or talking about, or, you know, there's just this whole list of things that they want to talk about with their friends, but their friends are just sort of like, yeah, okay. And, you know, it's almost like they try to act a little discouraging to this person, even though they know that this person's very happy with you, just out of, I don't want to say like a selfish reason, but I definitely feel like there's some self-motivated people here, right? You know, at least in this person's friend circle, you know, that really, really appreciates this person, that doesn't want them kind of straying from the friendship. But I will say, I really feel like once you meet this individual, I feel like you guys are going to get along. And that might be another thing that this person says to their friends is like, you guys are going to love them. Like, this person is so sweet. They're so much fun. Like, this person always makes me laugh. Like, they have such great jokes. And I feel like they're constantly telling their friends, like, you're going to love them. Just wait and see. Like, you are going to be so happy that I introduced you guys. So going forward, what do they tell their family members? We have the Five of Wands, we have the Fool card, the Three of Wands in the reverse, and the Seven of Wands in the upright. Yeah, I think that they would tell their family that they are fighting for a new opportunity or a new adventure with you, right? For some of you guys, if you guys are in a long distance relationship, maybe they are planning on visiting you soon, or maybe they are planning on you visiting them, buying some tickets for you guys. But I definitely feel like they want to start something here. Their family definitely knows about you as well. They know that you are someone who is very adventurous, someone who is always chasing their dreams and their goals, and wherever their spirit kind of takes them. I feel like, again, their family also knows that you're someone who has a good gut instinct and someone who really loves animals. For some of you guys, I feel like maybe you come from a very large family, or you come from a family where you have a lot of siblings. You know, it could even also be that maybe your person is the one, but I really do feel like this person tells their family about how family is very important to you, right? Especially with how sensitive you are. I feel like family means everything, and the same with your friends. So I feel like this person would say to their family, like, listen, mom, like, this person really loves their friends. They really love the people that are in their life. Like, they're very caring, very compassionate, very nurturing to the people around them, but also very adventurous, very fun-loving, very energetic, you know, very much on the go all the time, you know? And I feel like, again, they would say this person isn't indecisive. This person knows exactly what they want, when they want it, and they're fighting for their goals and their aspirations, you know? And I feel like their family sees you as a go-getter. Their family sees you as someone who is achieving amazing things in your life, you know, and someone who is, I keep hearing that you're kind of like a rabble rouser. Like, you know, you're someone who doesn't mind fighting back against certain groups or having an unpopular opinion. You know, you are someone who doesn't mind kind of being the odd man out, so to speak, or going your own way. And I feel like their family really likes that about you. For some of you, I feel like their family members have looked you up on social media. For some of you, they've looked you up on Facebook. Maybe you've also been getting like Facebook recommendations for their family members out of nowhere. And I feel like it's because they've been looking at your page more. But with the Seven of Wands as well, I feel like they're telling their family they want to fight for this connection because they really see something solid and something valuable here in this connection with you. So that's why they're ready to start over brand new. So how would they describe the connection overall? We have the Knight of Wands. There's a lot of passion here, right? There's a lot of emotions, a lot of energy being put in, a lot of feelings. You know, I feel like this person has very, very strong passion, maybe even a little bit of lust for you as well, right? You know, I feel like this person wants to come in, but they also don't want it to seem like they're just coming in for like a one-night stand. Like, this person wants something real with you. They want something that's going to last. They want something that is going to be good for both of you guys as well, right? But with the Knight of Wands, they're ready to come in fast. Like, they're ready to make things happen like yesterday, right? For some of you guys, maybe all that's left, like maybe you guys have already said to each other, like, I really like you. Maybe it's just a matter of going out and getting on a date now, right? You know, maybe it's just a matter of finding a time when both of you guys are away from work, or when both of you guys are available to be able to come together and make something real out of this, right? For others of you, yeah, maybe you are long distance and there is a sense of traveling to see each other. But, you know, I definitely feel like there's a lot of love in this connection. There's a lot of good feelings. There's a lot of hope. There's a lot of happiness. This is someone who feels like they can grow with you, that you guys can go through anything together, that no matter what, you guys would be partners in crime. I feel like they see you as someone who's very capable, very resourceful, and very intelligent. So yeah, definitely someone who very much loves their freedom. So maybe they're also coming in with kind of a more playful offer at first before they offer a full-blown commitment. But they see commitment with you. Don't get me wrong, they see commitment with you. We have a lot of cards that represent partnership and longing and love here. So, you know, I definitely feel like, yeah, there's a lot of passion, but there's also a lot of love and deep emotions and spiritual connection behind this relationship as well. So definitely let me know in the comments down below if this resonated, Stack 2. Let me know if you enjoyed this. Also, make sure to leave a thumbs up if you like this video, and make sure to hit subscribe if you have not already. Press the little bell icon to be notified every time I upload a brand new reading. And I hope you guys are doing amazing and staying in good health, and I hope I have the honor to see you in the next video I post. But I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope to hear from you soon. Bye, Stack 2! Hello to everyone who chose Stack 3. Let's get right into your reading and see what do they say about you to others, and how would they describe you. So right off the bat, I love the fact that you chose the Among the Dolls paper. It says, you're wearing such a pretty dress and now she's their toy. So for some of you guys, maybe you wear a lot of dresses, you know, maybe you're someone who always looks well put together, but at the same time, I feel like this individual maybe notices that maybe you're in a friend group that doesn't necessarily have your best interest in mind or at heart. For some of you guys, it's also maybe coworkers, maybe you're in a toxic work environment and you're surrounded by people that don't necessarily have your best interest at heart. For others of you, this might also be your family members. You know, maybe this person would describe you as someone who comes from very humble beginnings. You know, maybe you're someone who has kind of a rags to riches sort of a story, or, you know, maybe you're someone who your family hasn't always had the easiest life or the easiest go at things, right? Especially compared to this person. I feel like maybe you come from a family where, you know, maybe you had a single parent because maybe your parents were divorced, or maybe there was a death of one of your parents. So you had to grow up, and I feel like you had to mature very quickly, especially if you had a lot of other siblings or younger siblings compared to you. I feel like you had to kind of step up into a motherly or fatherly kind of a role for them as well whenever your single parent was kind of out. For others of you, I feel like there's just this energy of not necessarily having as much as your fellow peers growing up, you know, and I feel like now as an adult, you're really starting to buy a lot of the things that you really wanted when you were a child. You know, maybe there was a toy that you never got, or maybe there was like an outfit that you always saw growing up that you were like, wow, I want that when I'm an adult. But there's definitely this energy of honoring your inner child, honoring yourself, and really taking care of yourself now, right? You know, I also feel like for some of you guys, maybe you go to the thrift store, maybe that's where you buy the majority of your clothes, but I feel like the way that you match the clothing items together really makes you look kind of high fashion, makes you look very, very I just keep hearing like coordinated, like maybe you also love to color coordinate things as well. You know, I feel like for some of you guys, maybe you're very, very structured in the way that you go about your life as well. You have a very strict routine, like maybe every day you eat oatmeal at 7 a.m. and then at 7:30 you take a shower and then you go to work at 8. Like there's just this energy of having a routine and sticking to it, right? And that predictability. And I feel like this individual loves that predictability about you as well. But I also feel like this person doesn't want you to try to become something that you aren't, because among the dolls makes me feel like there's something inherently plastic or something inherently fake about the people that you're around, right? And I feel like this person is saying like, wow, this person is so real, is so sweet, is so genuine. Like, how are they caught up in all that? How are they friends with these people? Or how are they working in this scenario? Or, you know, how are they coming from this family? For some of you guys, maybe this person knows your family and they're kind of saying, they're like, how did this relatively normal, you know, sweet individual come from such a tumultuous situation or family home, or, you know, had to grow up in that, right? So for a lot of you guys as well, I feel like you're very connected with the moon. You know, I feel like a very big Cancer kind of vibe here. We do have the Cancer sign right here, but then also the moon represents Cancer. So I definitely feel like there's this really deep connection that you have with the moon, with your emotions as well. You're someone who feels very vividly, but I also feel like you're someone who loves to open up with people. You know, I feel like you wear your heart on your sleeve. You can be kind of sensitive, but I feel like as well, you're very emotive, you know, especially on your face. Notice how her expression is coming through so vividly. You know, I really feel like that's the energy here, is that, you know, maybe you're also kind of an overthinker. You know, maybe you're someone who likes to come up with different scenarios in your head for X, Y, and Z. If someone does this, then you can do this, this, or that, right? If someone says this, then you can come back with this, this, or that. Like, it's almost as if you like to have pre-rehearsed lines already, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it reminds me of someone who maybe has anxiety, or maybe someone who struggles a little bit with starting up conversations with other people, or with connecting with new people. You know, I feel like for a lot of you as well, there's this energy of, you know, maybe you've been friends with the same friends group since you were a child, and maybe this individual is saying like, I really wish this person would you know, go out of their comfort zone and meet new people or do something brand new, right? Now, also, with now she's their toy, you know, again, I feel like there's this energy of maybe this person noticing that, you know, you are so sweet and so generous and so kind, but maybe people can kind of take advantage of that. You know, for some of you guys, maybe you're a little bit of a people pleaser, and that's something that this person picks up on as well. You know, they notice that you have such a high frequency and that you vibe so brightly and you're so sweet. You are so caring and compassionate that they just know that there's people who are taking advantage of that, or people who aren't being the kindest in the world, right? You know, and especially people who might take your kindness as weakness. I feel like that's another thing that this individual might be a little bit discerning about, is, you know, that maybe they tell their friends like, you know, it makes me sad because they're such a sweetheart, but then they're hanging out with these people who aren't, you know, and, you know, this person's a people pleaser. They might like to make sure that everyone's taken care of. They like to make sure that everyone's nurtured, everyone's having a good time, but who's making sure that this person is nurtured and having a good time? Who is looking out for this person? It's very much kind of like this person is looking after you, you know, and maybe they would also say to their friends and family members that they see you as someone they need to protect, or someone that they need to look after and take care of, right? So let's go into your cards. So starting off with these first two, these are descriptors of how they would describe you to other people. So we have number 27, Crow, and number 12, Mountain Gorilla. Woohoo! Okay, so right off the bat, I love mountain gorillas, with number 12 being the number 3. It talks about being in harmony with the mind, the body, and the spirit all coming together as one. But notice how we also have the red and the blue here. You know, I feel like you're someone who is very connected with both your divine masculine and your divine feminine energies, with your logical thinking mind and your intuitive side as well. You know, but definitely I feel like you guys are very in touch with your spirit guides. You know, maybe there's a little bit of meditation here. Maybe this person sees you as someone who loves to meditate, loves to cleanse yourself. You know, maybe you're someone who owns a lot of crystals as well. Maybe you do a lot of crystal healing. For a lot of you guys, I see maybe you have like amethyst in your room. You know, maybe you're someone who loves wearing necklaces with crystals on it. it as well. I just see you as someone who's very well put together with your jewelry. I feel like it's all color coordinated. Maybe you wear a lot of rings and a lot of bracelets, and maybe you'll wear like all silver one day and then another day you'll wear all gold. But regardless, with the number 12 mountain grill, it says reverence, contemplation, community, and inner calm. Yes, so there definitely is kind of a focus on community here, and especially around the people that you hang out with. And I keep hearing birds of a feather flock together, right? So, for some of you as well, maybe your friends around you, they share the same common interests, but at the end of the day, maybe you know that they're not like the best people, but I feel like this person is picking up on that really quick. Like, I need to nurture this person, I need to protect them, I need to take care of them, right? Now with inner calm and contemplation, they do see you as someone who takes your time before you do things. You take your time before you act as well. Remember how I was saying that, you like to think to yourself, okay, if this person says XYZ, then I can say XYZ back, right? I feel like you always have all of these options or all of these paths that you can kind of go down in your mind. But this person is also saying, like, that comes from having time where you have that inner calm, you have that quiet where you can just kind of start thinking and start brainstorming on these things. I will say that they think that you're a little bit too hard on yourself, and I feel the need to say that maybe you need to speak up for yourself a little bit more as well. It's almost as if you suffer in silence, right? Stack 3, they see you as someone who puts on a brave face even in the hardest of situations, but they see you as someone who needs to put your foot down, who can't allow the people around you to keep walking all over you. I definitely feel like there's this energy of them telling their friends and family members, like, yeah, they're really sweet and they're really gentle and really kind, but I feel like other people see them as naive and silly and as if they don't know what they're talking about, when you very much do, right? You're someone who's incredibly intelligent, you're someone who has a good head on your shoulders, you're someone who can make great decisions for yourself, but I feel like at the same time, this person is telling others, I just don't like the community that they're in or the community that they came from, right? Now with the number 27, this would be the number 9, and it talks again about spirituality, being very connected with yourself, with your higher self, and with the moon as well. Again, I feel like some of you guys maybe do like full moon rituals that are in this group, and I feel like this person maybe saw on your Snapchat story at one point that you were doing that. Maybe for others of you, you also posted on like Facebook or Instagram and said like, hey, I'm going to be doing a full moon ritual. Maybe you make moon water. But I definitely feel like this person knows that you're very intuitively inclined. Maybe they know that you watch pick-a-card readings as well. Like maybe they've seen it open on your browser if you like showed them your laptop at some point and it was already open, or maybe you like to share some of them as well when you find very profound knowledge. But I also feel like you're someone who shares all your wisdom with others as well. Like maybe you're also someone who is vegan or vegetarian or has very strict dietary restrictions. And maybe you're someone who follows that very closely, and they also love the fact that you have self-control and you're able to stick to these things, right? Because I feel like maybe your person, finds that to be very brave and finds that to be a sign of strength as well, right? Now with Crow, it says communication, transformation, story, and universal law. Yes, so they definitely see you kind of transforming into the person that you're meant to be as well. I feel like you're going through a little bit of a glow up right now, Stack 3, as well as discovering who it is that you are and where it is that you kind of fit in the universe as well. I feel like for a while there's almost been this kind of missing puzzle piece in your life that you've been waiting to find to make everything fit together and to make everything make sense. And I feel like that's something that they've picked up on, or at least even if there isn't, I feel like they almost sense that there is. Like there's something missing from your life. And maybe some of them that pick this pile, like some of your people were along the lines thinking to themselves, this person's missing a partner, right? Like out of everything, I feel like you're a hopeless romantic. You're someone who loves the idea of love. You're someone who loves the idea of partnership, and maybe this individual is also a little confused and a little concerned of why is this person still single? Like they are so kind. They are so sweet. Like why aren't they settled down? Like why aren't they with someone who loves and appreciates and respects them, right? And I feel like that's a big vibe here as well, is just like, why? Like, why hasn't someone snatched this person up because they are so sweet? Now, with communication as well, again, they want you to kind of stick up for yourself, to speak up, to speak out, to tell people no, or hey, I'm not vibing with that, or hey, that wasn't very cool. They want you to be able to speak your piece and come forward with your truth. I feel like that's very important for them. They want to know that you're someone who can be there for yourself, show up for yourself, so to speak. And I feel like, again, they say that to other people of, I just wish that this person would stick up for themselves, or I wish this person would care a little bit more about themselves. And it's not saying that you don't care, but I feel like, there's times where maybe you even just have this resolve where you think to yourself, okay, nothing's going to change. Like, everything's going to stay the way that it is. And, even if I decided to leave these friends, like, how am I going to make new ones? Like, very not self-serving thoughts or feelings or vibes or energies. And I feel like this person is also saying, I wish that you would just be more gentle with yourself, more nurturing, more sweet, more compassionate. I feel like maybe you're someone who can have a lot of self-deprecating thoughts, or, make a lot of jokes at your own expense. And I feel like this person, as funny as some of the jokes may be, they also kind of stop after they're done laughing and they think about it. And it's almost like they ruminate on it and they think to themselves, why did they say that? And I feel like it's something that really bewilders them, because maybe you'll make a joke about not being pretty, or, not being, able to think of complex things, or just different things like that. And I feel like this individual is like, well, why would they say that? Like, they are intelligent, or they are beautiful, or they are sweet, or, I just feel like this person gets a little bit confused. Like, why are they being so hard on themselves when they are one of the best people I have ever met, right? Like, there's a lot of passion behind them when it comes to you, but I feel like it also frustrates them that you don't see yourself the way that they see you, right? Now, going forward onto your next card, we have Frog, Prosperity. So how else would they describe you to people? Let go of the past and embrace change. Opportunities are close at hand. Hop into this new day with joy. Abundance and good fortune await you. Beautiful. So I feel like they would tell all their friends, this is someone who is stepping into their prosperity, someone who is very money focused. Maybe you are someone who loves saving money. Maybe you're someone who is saving for travel, or saving to go do something that's going to bring you a lot of happiness. Regardless, I feel like you're someone, again, who hasn't always had the best path. So you're learning how to move forward, how to embrace everything that you've been through, but then how to embrace new situations. But again, they wish that there was a little bit more change in loving yourself, in coming together, in feeling more comfortable in your own skin as well. They see you as someone who has a lot of potential, as someone who will have a lot of opportunities coming your way. Maybe you're someone who's incredibly talented, so they don't find it to be that you're someone who has a hard time getting a job, right? Like, they see you as someone who is very personable, very sweet, very amazing at having long conversations with. I feel like you're someone who, again, is an active listener. You're very good at maintaining eye contact. You're very good at making people feel seen when you're in a conversation with them. But at the same time, I feel like this person, again, is just saying to their friends and family, like, I wish this person would help themselves be a little bit more seen as well. Or I wish they could see that they have all of these opportunities, all this potential, and all this joy that's coming towards them as well. But they see you as a very joyful individual, regardless of all of the hardships and all the negative energies that you've had. Again, I feel like you light up the room when you walk in. I feel like you have such a different vibe and such a different way of carrying yourself. I feel like the energy and the air around you is very much like your inner child, right? It's very unconditionally loving. It's very curious. It's very wanting to know everything, wanting to investigate, wanting to discover, right? Very hungry for knowledge as well. And I feel like that's another thing that this person would say, is that you're always learning. You're always someone who is maybe opening books and reading. Maybe you like love books. Maybe you love documentaries. Maybe you're someone that's really into like watching History Channel or Discovery Channel and then just finding out a bunch of stuff. For some of you guys, maybe you're really into like ancient aliens and like a lot of alien things and things that are kind of out of this world. Maybe you're someone who also really loves like conspiracy theories, or like the moon isn't, the moon landing wasn't real, or things like that. You know, I feel like you're someone who has a lot of outside of the box thinking, and you're someone who comes up with really awesome conversation starters and conversation topics. I feel like the gift of gab is really on your side, stack 3, and I feel like that's another thing that they would say. But again, I feel like it's always either about someone else, or you know, something that's funny or surface level, or like, yeah, a conspiracy theory or a topic. It's never just about your feelings or your emotions. It's never just this like forthcoming, like, here we go, laying it all out on the table, and like, this is where you hurt me, this is where you did me wrong. Like, there's a lack of confrontation here. You know, I very much feel like you are someone who does not like confrontation. You know, you don't like having to say no to people or to have to stick up for yourself. You know, I feel like that's very stressful for you. So going on to your next few cards, we have some more descriptor cards. So we have number 62, Turtle Spirit, slow and steady wins the race. We have number 18, Deer Spirit, bring a gentle touch. And number 63, Vulture Spirit, nothing is wasted. Beautiful. Okay. So right off the bat with the number 63, this would be the number 9. You know, it talks again about spirituality, being very connected with the spiritual side of things, your spiritual aspect, with your intuition, with your gut instinct, with your spirit guides as well. But I also feel like at the same time, you're very much someone who believes that everything happens for a reason, you know, and everything happens the way that it's supposed to. And I feel like maybe that's also something that you've mentioned to this person, and that's something that they find very beautiful, very inspiring. They just find you to be a very inspiring individual, right? And such as the vulture is kind of a symbol of death and rebirth and recreating yourself and finding something beautiful out of the hardships that come with death. You know, I feel like they see you in that same energy, that you are someone who has reinvented yourself many, many times. You are someone who has had a lot of changes, a lot of uprootings, a lot of hardships in your life, but you never let that define you. You know, you're always someone who embraces change very openly and very graciously. But I feel like you also take your time. You know, it's kind of, again, with the slow and steady wins the race, you're very meticulous. You take your time with things. You know, I feel like you're someone who doesn't want to overlook anything, even the small details. Now, with the number 62, this would be the number 8. I really do feel like as well that, you know, you guys are very determined. You guys love gaining more knowledge as well. You know, I really do feel like you guys are very scholarly. Maybe you guys got really good grades in school. You know, maybe even if you're in university right now, I feel like you're doing very good for yourself. You know, you stay on top of your projects. You stay on top of what's needed to be done. You know, and I feel like this person finds that to be really inspiring as well. You know, maybe you inspire them to do a little bit better in their own studies or in their own career. You know, I feel like you really very much inspire them. Now, with the number 18 being the number 9, again, you know, I really do feel like you guys are book readers. You guys love to try new recipes. You know, you love baking, you love cooking. There's just this energy of going out there. And I feel like you learn and you do best with physically doing things, physically picking up a frying pan and working with it. Or, you know, maybe even some of you guys really love fitness and just like going out there, working out your body, getting a sweat going, and then coming home, right? But with Deer Spirit, bring a gentle touch. Again, you guys are very, very soft. You guys are very gentle spirited, right? You guys don't want confrontation. You don't want other people to feel uncomfortable or to struggle. You know, you want everyone to have a pretty good time here on Earth, right? For the most part. And I really do feel like with Deer Spirit as well, bringing a gentle touch means bringing it to everyone that you meet in life. I feel like even strangers on the street, you're the type of person who will just smile at people, like for no reason. You just look over, you smile at someone. You know, maybe if someone needs directions, you go up and help them. You know, you're someone who doesn't mind helping other people. You have no expectation of ever being helped back. You just genuinely want to be a good person. And that's something else that this person would say. You know, I keep hearing the word naive. It's almost like this person I don't want to say that they have a negative outlook towards the world, but it's almost as if they have lost that childlike wonder, or they have matured to the point where, you know, they've seen a lot of hardships, or they've seen a lot of struggle, or just people being rude or cutthroat in day-to-day life, you know, in an office space, or, you know, at a workplace. And when they meet someone like you, who is still so sweet and so innocent and so kind and so gentle, even while going through all of the things that you've been through, it kind of blows their mind, right? Because it's almost like, is this person for serious? Like, are they real right now? It's kind of giving me like Buddy the elf energy. You know how like everyone in that universe was looking at Buddy like, are you serious? Like, you're actually believing you're an elf, and you're all excited and you're happy and you're eating noodles with maple syrup in the morning. Like, I feel like that's your energy. I feel like you're up to trying new things, new recipes, new ideas. You know, you just have this childlike wonder about you, and it's so beautiful. I feel like that's something that really inspires this individual. So going forward onto your next two cards, how else would they describe you? I'm also getting, I feel like this individual sees a lot of synchronicities and immediately thinks of you, because I feel like they see you as their spiritual friend and as that spiritual person in their life. So I feel like they see a lot of 444s, 555s, and 222s because of you. And maybe you also see those same synchronicities. So right off the bat, yeah, they would again say that you haven't always had the easiest time in life. They would say that you kind of come off like you've been shut off, you've been hurt. You know, I feel like it's kind of the way you hold yourself. Not to say that you like slump over and you're like limping on canes or whatever, but you know, I definitely feel like the way you hold yourself is the way that someone who has experienced trauma does, right? You know, it's the same sense. I saw a TikTok where this one person said, as someone who's experienced trauma, I can look at someone else just in their eyes and know that they've experienced something, or that something really bad has happened to them, right? And I feel like that's the same vibe here. Even though you're so sweet and so kind and so gentle, I feel like it's in the eyes. I feel like something in the eyes, like, there's something that is so expressive that you have went through something, or you dealt with a traumatic situation. Again, this could be anything. This could be from childhood. This could be from a workplace trauma. This could be a relationship trauma, right? But whatever that is, I feel like this person sees you healing from it and sees you moving forward, but they do see the toll that that's taken, because you have such a tender heart already. You are someone who, you genuinely have a bleeding heart for humanity, right? And I feel like that's something this person would say to their friends and family members, is that, you know, it honestly pains you to see people homeless on the street. It pains you to see animals hurting. It pains you to see anyone experiencing any kind of hardship or any kind of heartache as well, especially when your friends are suffering or struggling. Sorry about that, by the way. My cat Mozzarella really wanted to come up here. Both Mozzarella and Margot have been up here now. But, you know, I feel like you're someone who just has a really tender, very gentle heart, and you don't want anyone to struggle or suffer, especially, you know, people who are out on the street when it's cold. You know, I feel like you're someone who maybe even makes up packs of supplies and you go out and deliver it to homeless people, you know, but it's not this like attention grabbing. It's not like you do it and then you film it and post it on social media. Like, you just do it and you don't tell anyone, right? You know, and I feel like that's very much the energy that this person is picking up on. You know, I feel like they would tell their friends and family members, like, this person treats everyone as if they were a son or daughter to you, if that makes sense. You know, it's that same nurturing, maternal, paternal energy where it's almost like they treat everyone like, you know, they are a baby in the world, you know, who needs gentle guidance and nurturing. You know, you're very sweet, you're very calming, you're very loving, and I feel like everyone you meet, you treat with kindness, you treat with respect. And, you know, especially I feel like when you're meeting other people who are even more wealthy than you, or like celebrities even. Let's say celebrities, for instance. I feel like you're the type of person who would treat them like a regular schmegular person. Like, you're not going to be like, oh my gosh, Ben Affleck. Like, no, absolutely not. No. But I feel like you'd be more like, oh, hey, like, how's your day going? Like, if you would even talk to them, I feel like you would just look and then you would turn around and you just keep walking, because you would know that you wouldn't want to be hassled by people coming after you and being like, Ben, oh my gosh, Ben Affleck. No, like, you don't want that, you know? So I feel like you're very respectful to everyone in all walks of life, right? You know, it's not like you're just kind to pretty people, or you're not just kind to rich people. Like, you're kind to everyone. And, you know, being kind costs nothing. I feel like that's another thing that you would say as well, is being kind costs nothing, and it takes less energy to be kind than to be cruel or rude or mean, right? Now, going on to your next two cards, these are a few more descriptors. We have she who avenges, Nemesis, and she who instigates, Regina George. We have leadership, provocation, and power. We have revenge, outcomes, and justice. Yeah, so I feel like you're very fair, you're very just, especially when it comes to your friends, your family members, people on the street. Like, you know, you're someone who very much believes in karma. You know, you're someone who believes that, you know, what you put out is what you're going to get back to. Because karma is a cat purring in my lap because it loves me. You know, I feel like that's very much the energy that we have here. Maybe some of you guys are Swifties, because we also have the snake here. Kind of reminds me of like the Reputation era. But, you know, for some of you guys, maybe you go to like concerts, maybe you've been to the Eras tour, you know, maybe you're someone who, you know, just really loves very passionately, especially when you love an artist, right? But you are a leader, you know, in your own unique way. I feel like you are a leader, you know, but I feel like it's because you lead from your heart, as opposed to the last two piles where I feel like they lead from their headspace. I feel like you definitely lead from your heart space, and it definitely causes you to experience a lot of emotions, a lot of sadness, a lot of grief, especially for other people in the world, or, you know, other walks of life. But at the same time, I feel like your heart and your sensitivity and your connection to others is really your strongest power, right? And that's another thing that this person really wants to talk about. You know, even when it comes to people in your life that maybe aren't treating you the kindest, you're not the type of person who would stoop to revenge or stoop to, how am I going to get this person back? Like, that's not your energy at all. You know, you are someone who is very much like, well, let's let bygones be bygones, and, you know, we're not going to worry about it, and that's fine. Like, I'm not going to be mad at this person anymore. Like, you're very much a live and let live sort of a person, right? And I feel like they find that very admirable, because I feel like your person is very much someone who is kind of like, yeah, I would want revenge if someone did that to me, or, you know, I would want this or I would want that. But you have a very amazing way of looking at it, is if this person came to me with anger in their heart, or, you know, with not so good, I guess, vibes towards me, or such good feelings, you know, that comes from a place of lack in them, you know, and it's almost as if you feel bad for them. You know, it's kind of like, oh, bless your heart, you know, like, damn, you know, I don't know. I just feel like you guys are very much like, that's a reflection of them and not on me. Like, I'm not going to take other people's words to heart, because I know that that's a lack in them, but it still does hurt, right? You know, because you are still someone who's very sensitive, you know, and you are someone who feels very deeply. So going forward onto your next few cards, how would this person describe you to random people, just in general? Like, what if someone stopped them on the side of the road and was like, hey, can you describe Samantha right now? This is how they would describe you. So we have the Page of Coins in the upright, the Justice card in the upright. Love that we have two cards that are basically talking about justice, fairness, equality. You know, I feel like you're someone who treats everyone as equals. We have the King of Coins in the reverse, the Knight of Cups in the upright, and the Page of Wands in the upright. Yeah, so I feel like they still see you as someone who is still on the beginning of your journey. You know, even though you're very abundant already, they still see that you have a lot longer to go, or like more mountains to climb, so to speak. But they do see you as a hopeless romantic. They see you as someone who is very sweet. You know, I know I keep saying sweet, but it's like the energy that I just keep picking up on. You know, a lover of nature, a lover of animals, a lover of plants. You might also be the type of person who connects with nature as well. Maybe you go up to plants and you touch the leaves and you talk to the plants. Maybe you're someone who also really, really loves insects as well. But I really do feel like you are starting out on your journey, you know, and you're discovering yourself. You're discovering who it is that you want to be, what it is that you want to do going forward. And I feel like they really pick up on that. You know, I feel like your person is really understanding that, you know, you have a long way to go. You're still growing. You're still discovering who you are, but you know, you are making leaps and bounds. I feel like another thing that they would say as well is, again, you know, you're very balanced. I feel like you're someone who can take care of themselves very easily. You're self-reliant. You don't have to worry about other people helping you, or, you know, worry about how am I going to do certain things. I think you just do it, right? I think you just have this goal in mind and then you go towards it and you accomplish it. You're very, very driven. But again, I feel like they're acknowledging the fact that you still have a long way to go. Sorry, I just burped. I burp whenever I get like really deep into channeling. But with the King of Coins in the reverse, I also again feel like this is talking about how you still have more growing and more maturing, and I feel like it goes back into not letting people use you as a doormat or not letting people walk all over you, with justice, finding justice for yourself, and incorporating that in, because the King of Coins in the upright, is very stable energy, but it's also very stern and very much like, no, you're not going to treat me this way. I have boundaries. I have respect for myself. And I feel like this individual is saying like they want you to have that more, but they definitely want to come in with an offer of love. They see that you're someone who is worth the risk, and they see that you're someone who is, worth putting the time into as well. You're someone who's very fun loving, very energetic, very loving. I keep hearing as well that being around you is like taking pre-workout. Like it just makes people feel energized. It just gives people that mood boost. And maybe that's also why we have this kind of drained energy coming up for you over here as well, is because they almost feel like there's a lot of energy vampires around you, if that makes sense, that are just kind of sucking up your energy and not leaving any for you, right? So going forward, how would they describe you to their friends? We have the Nine of Chalices in the reverse, the Eight of Pentacles in the upright, the Queen of Wands in the reverse, and the Eight of Swords in the upright. Wow, okay. So again, I feel like they see you as someone who's very nurturing, but they also see you again as someone who isn't entirely happy with where they are, or where you're at. You still have a lot of growth. But again, I feel like you're working hard to be able to get there. We have 2 8s here. So again, that very fast forward moving energy, wanting to put pedal to the metal, wanting to go towards your goals and ambitions. But with the 8 of Pentacles over here in general, this talks about hard work being put in that's going to pay off, right? Anything that you put in is going to be brought back by the universe. And I feel like this person is acknowledging like, yeah, they work very, very hard in order to have really nice things. And I feel like that's what they tell their friends. They'd also tell their friends, like, this isn't the most confident person in the room, right? Like, this person's fun loving, they're sweet, they're kind, but I also feel like there's a little bit of self-doubt here, or a little bit of nervousness. Like, especially when you walk into a room of people that you don't know, there's this need to kind of withdraw, or it's almost like the wind gets sucked out of your lungs. Even though you'll be very kind to everyone, you'll smile at everyone, you'll talk to everyone, there's still this energy of feeling very uncomfortable there, or feeling like, do I fit in? Like how we were talking about earlier, do I fit in here? Do I belong here? Am I welcome here? Right? There's very much this energy of maybe even feeling like an outsider. And I feel like maybe they've mentioned that to their friends. Like, yeah, they can be a little bit awkward at first when you first get to know them. But, once you have them warmed up, like this person is the sweetest person you'll ever meet. I also feel like with the 8 of Swords, maybe they mention that you're in your thoughts a lot, or you're in your head a lot, and they kind of want to break you out of that. Again, there's just a lot of like self-deprecating thoughts, making yourself the butt of a joke, being kind of rude to yourself, right? And I totally get that. Like, as someone who is an overthinker as well, I definitely understand what that's like. Sometimes it's really difficult to get out of your head, but I feel like this person is saying, like, I wish you could see the potential in yourself, and see how beautiful you are from another person's eyes, and I also feel like with the 8 of Swords here, I know this isn't the traditional meaning, but with the imagery here of the mother and daughter, I feel like this individual thinks, and maybe even says to their friends, like, you have a very motherly energy, you're someone who doesn't mind taking care of the sick, or taking care of the weak, or looking after other people. I feel like you're also someone who maybe is very open to the idea of fostering or adopting. Maybe that's always been something that you thought would be a good fit for you or for your future family as well, especially if you're someone who can't give birth. But with the 8 of Swords as well, I feel like there's a lot of fears and a lot of worries and hesitations that come into your mind in general, right? And I feel like this individual just they feel like you would be the whole package if you just loved yourself a little bit more as well. But it doesn't take away anything. If anything, I just feel like this person would say, yeah, they don't have the most self-confidence. They can be a little bit awkward at first, but they are the kindest, sweetest, gentlest person on the planet, right? And very, very loving. So how would they describe you to their family now that we've seen how they would talk about you to their friends? So we have the Sun card in the reverse, the Page of Cups in the reverse, the World card, the Two of Swords in the upright. Yeah, okay. So, wow, right off the bat with the Sun and the Page of Cups in the reverse, I definitely feel like they see you as someone who, again, has experienced a lot of hardship. They might say that to their family, like, things haven't always been the easiest for this individual. Maybe they grew up in not the best situation. Maybe you experienced poverty growing up, and maybe that was really hard. Maybe now, as an adult, you are struggling with lack mindset and worrying, like, is there going to be enough? Will I end up in the same situation if I have children, putting them into a situation like how I grew up? There's just a lot of thoughts swirling around, a lot of what ifs, a lot of worries, a lot of fears. And I feel like this individual picks up on that, right? For some of you guys, maybe some of you really want to be a parent and your person doesn't, and maybe that's also something that they've talked with their family about. But I feel like they're saying that something has to happen for them to be able to come forward, right? It's almost like they're nervous and they're on the fence. I feel like they're telling their family, I want to move forward, I want to go towards this individual, but they're going through enough as it is. Or, maybe you're someone who just recently experienced heartbreak and experienced an ending of a relationship or a breakup, right? So maybe this person is feeling a little bit indecisive or a little bit hesitant on if they should even approach you, considering you just went through that, right? But again, they would maybe say to their friends and family members, that you're someone who, I don't want to say just allows other people to, say whatever they want, but with the Two of Swords here, how she's blindfolded and just sitting out in the middle of the frozen winter, like the tundra, I just feel like there's this energy of kind of allowing people to put you in uncomfortable situations and just being like, yeah, this is fine. Like maybe you're at work and you're being overworked and you're telling everyone, yeah, this is okay, like it's fine, whatever, like this is just my job. And for others of you, maybe it's literally your friends and you're saying, well, it's okay. Like they mean well, like they're a nice person, but at the same time, maybe this person's making remarks about you to others. Maybe this person's making remarks to your face, right? And you almost feel backed in a corner. I feel like this individual is picking up on that, but I feel like they want to come forward with some form of communication, with some form of talking here. But I don't think that they want anything too serious right now. I think that you both are still growing. I think that you both are still evolving as people. I feel like they will want to come together, maybe to hang out, maybe to cuddle, maybe to have some really sweet times together. But I feel like for the most part, both of you guys are still on your journey, and maybe closing out big cycles so then that way you can come together, right? But there's definitely this energy of, at least on your end, this person says to their family and to their friends, like, this person's closing out something major and starting over brand new in their life. Like, I'm going to wait a little bit before I pursue them, right? So it might also just be until they start seeing that you are looking a little bit more like stable footed, like maybe you have experienced something with your career and now they're like, I'm just gonna wait until they are feeling more comfortable in their career or feeling more comfortable in their home life, whatever that might be. Maybe you just moved and they're gonna wait until you get a little bit more settled in at your new residence. But with the Queen of Cups wrapping us up and talking about their overall feelings and like intentions towards you going forward, with the Queen of Chalices, this is definitely saying, they want to have something solid and something stable with you, because they see you as someone who's very loving, very sweet. Again, I know I keep saying it, but it's almost like you're a chocolate chip cookie to them or something, or like a sugar cookie. You are just so freaking sweet and so gentle and so kind and so loving. You are everything good about the Queen of Cups. But again, I feel like they're wanting to wait until things are a little bit more certain, or at least until, you know, you seem to be in a better headspace or a better situation, right? Because I feel like this person is ready to be with you, but again, they want to make sure that you're ready to be with them as well, and that you feel comfortable with them, and that you feel comfortable, that you know them. You know, maybe this is still a pretty new connection, and maybe this individual is, you know, just kind of scoping you out and just looking for now. And I feel like maybe they're still learning, you know, they're still learning who it is that you are, and they're still wanting you to learn who it is that they are as well. You know, but I feel like this person is going to come forward at some point. But right now, I feel like you both are very focused on filling your own cups and making yourselves both very happy. And I feel like that's going to be very important, because once you start taking these steps, working towards bettering yourself, you know, focusing on yourself, having a better relationship with yourself, that's when this person is going to come in full speed ahead, and they're just going to be like, okay, we can go out now, right? But maybe even by then you'll be onto something better or someone better, right? So definitely keep focusing on yourself. You know, if you're in communication with this person, definitely keep writing to them. You know, keep letting them know like how you're doing, and updating them. But, you know, I really do feel like things are going to come around once both of you are in better headspaces. So I hope that you enjoyed this reading, Stack 3. Definitely let me know in the comments down below if it resonated. Make sure to leave me a comment. I love reading you guys' comments so much, but let me know if this did resonate, if you feel like that's kind of the vibe that you got from them as well, that they want to kind of wait a little bit before they experience something a little bit more serious. Definitely make sure to leave a like on this video as well if you enjoyed this, and make sure to hit subscribe if you have not already, and press that little bell icon to be notified every time I upload a brand new reading. But I hope you guys are doing amazing, staying safe, and staying in good health, and I hope I have the honor to see you in my next video. Bye for now, Stack 3! Hello to everyone who picked Stack 4. Let's get right into your reading and see, what does your person say about you to others, and how would they describe you? So right off the bat, I love the fact that you chose the Cameo charm and the "This is the way the world ends" card. It has the number 7, and it also says Summoner here at the bottom. Now, with this card, it kind of makes me feel like you guys are very modest people. You're very humble, you're very down to earth, and I feel like that's something this person would talk about immediately, right off the bat, talking to their friends. They'd be like, wow, this person is so humble, they don't brag, this person isn't operating out of ego. You know, this person, even though they are gorgeous on the inside and out, they don't act like it, right? They don't act like they know. They're not trying to flaunt anything. They're not trying to act out of pride. This person is genuinely a good person. I feel like they would say that immediately. They would also immediately tell others that you are someone who marches to the beat of your own drum. You do things in a way that makes sense for you, but it doesn't always make sense to other people. I'm getting this real big draw to indigo child energy. Maybe growing up you were an indigo child, and maybe that's something that this person notices about you, is that you have your own processes of doing things, and that's to go with everything, right? I feel like you have your own routine, you have your own schedule. I also feel like this person finds a level of predictability with you, but I feel like that's also part of your comfort zone, right? Now, also with kind of doing things your own way, I feel like you tend to go down the path less traveled, as opposed to the comfortable path, the path that everyone else goes down. With the number 7, it talks about choices as well, options, opportunities. I feel like this person would describe you as someone who always has their options open, or always has maybe even a long line of suitors waiting for you. You might not even have that, but I feel like that's how this person perceives you. They see you as having options. They see you as someone who is never stuck in one place for too long either. They see you as someone who is very level-headed. You're someone who is very headstrong as well, and can get themselves out of even the stickiest predicament. You are someone who is incredibly witty. I feel that you're someone who's also very wise. I keep hearing for some of you guys, maybe you're very good at like crossword searches, or like crossword puzzles, word searches, Sudoku. There's just this energy of doing things that kind of get your mind going. For some of you guys, maybe you are bilingual as well. Maybe you're really good at speaking other languages. Maybe you're really good at identifying other languages, like whenever you're listening to things. I also feel like you're very worldly as well. So maybe you listen to like every different genre of music under the sun. I feel like you're someone who's very open to new ideas, to new perspectives, but still you like to kind of stay in your comfort zone. But I feel like you've built that up out of protection for yourself and protection for your spiritual well-being. I feel like from a very young age, you realize that you were very different in regards to spirituality, in regards to how intuitive you were. So I feel like you really grew up working with it and flexing your spiritual muscle and getting more accustomed to it. And I feel like when you met this person and when they met you, I feel like both of you had this recognition of, oh, I've met before. I know this individual, right? And I feel like, honestly, you were a little bit of this person's spiritual awakening. I wouldn't be surprised if your person was someone who, when they met you, they were very much in their ego. They might not have come across as that. They might have come across as just as generous, as kind, and as loving as you are. But I feel like this individual was very self-serving for a long time, right? And I don't want to say that they were ridiculously selfish, but I definitely feel like the only person that they were really concerned about was themselves. And I feel like that comes from some form of wound or some form of trauma where they felt like everyone else was being taken care of but them. And it was almost as if they were saying, now's my time to be selfish. Now's my time to get what I want and do what I want as well. It could have even been that maybe they had a previous relationship that really wounded them, that really hurt them. And they decided, I'm safer in my ego. I'm safer feeling like I'm better than everyone else, or I'm better than the situation, or I don't have to fully commit, or, you know, whatever that might be. But I feel like this individual almost had this idea of, I'm going to string people along just for my own happiness. I'll have them there. You know, maybe that's also why they really liked you or do like you, because they felt like you were someone who is predictable. They know that you're always going to be there, right? Now, with this energy as well, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a heavier type reading. I wouldn't be surprised if this is someone that maybe you've had a little bit of a romantic relationship with before in the past, or you've experienced some kind of cycle with this person. Maybe some of you guys, this is a karmic relationship. For some of you guys, maybe this is your twin flame and you are going in and out of no contact, right? For others of you, this just might have been a situationship that never quite got off the ground and evolved into something better. But I believe that it's because this individual that we are going to be talking about, I believe that they are uncomfortable. I think that they are not fully grown, or at least when you guys were first originally talking, I don't believe they were fully grown, you know, and I think that that's why you were this big spiritual awakening for them, right? And I feel like they would say that to other people, that you genuinely made them a better person. You made them believe in love again, you know, and I really feel like there's this energy of you really restored their hope in other people, but I also feel like at what cost, right? Because for some of you guys, that this is a potentially old flame or old relationship, or someone you were in no contact with, you know, I feel like there's a lot of water under the bridge. You know, there's a lot to kind of come back from. But I feel like this person is a little nervous. Like, are you going to choose to continue to talk to them, continue to be their friend, or are you going to move on, right? Especially with the number 7 talking about options. I feel like they might bring that up to their friends as well. If you guys have had a history, I feel like this individual would be saying to their friends, I don't know, you know, this person is very kind, but I don't know if they would be open for a round 2 with me, right? You know, especially after how they treated you. For some of you guys, this is your 3rd or 4th time around with this individual. And it doesn't just have to be past lives, it could be, but maybe in this lifetime you've given them chance after chance after chance, and it's just never worked out. And I feel like it's because this individual had to grow, they had to mature. I feel like anytime that they came to you previous, they were a page, and I feel like they've really evolved into a king type of an energy. Regardless of gender, I feel like they're in their king energy. They're evolved, they're masculine, they're feeling themselves, you know, they are confident again, but in a way that is balanced, in a way that isn't all ego, right? But I really feel like you humbled them and you brought them back down to earth. You made them remember that they're just human, right? And another thing that I keep hearing is they're almost saying, I wish you came with like a warning sign or a caution sign, because had they known that they would be completely head over heels for you, that they'd be pining after you, that they'd be yearning for you, that they would be thinking about you, you know, I think that they would have treated you a lot differently. I think that there would have been more delicacy with handling this relationship or this situation, right? I really do feel like they see you as kind of a timeless beauty, right? As someone who never goes out of style, as someone who is absolutely incredible. Another thing, I keep getting that there's this kind of old soul sort of an aspect about you. Maybe those of you that pick this pile, you really love watching documentaries, you really love learning, you're very well read, you're very intelligent, but I also feel like maybe you love like learning about different historical events. Maybe you're someone who really love like learning about the Titanic or learning about world wars or, you know, learning about just different things in history, and they find that incredibly intriguing and interesting as well, that you are so intelligent and that you are so well read. You know, I feel like they could have a conversation with you about anything and you would always know what to say. You would always have information. You would always have some form of fact or trivia that you could tell them. I feel like this also goes into movies as well. You know, maybe you're a big movie buff and maybe you're someone who really bonded with this individual about movies, recommending movies, horror movies, comedy. Like, I feel like you watch it all. You try to be pretty fair about everything, give everything a chance at least once. But I definitely feel like you're someone who retains information and knowledge like a sponge. You just kind of absorb it up and then you kind of put it in the back of your mind for a day that you feel that this knowledge is going to be valuable. So I feel like this individual is also telling their friends that you're extremely smart, that you have a fact for everything, right? But you're also a very hard worker, you know, but I feel like, again, that this person, they wish that they had known how much you would have meant to them back when you guys were still kind of, I keep hearing in your prime or, you know, together or at a time when it just made a little bit more sense, right? So going on to your first two cards, these are more descriptor cards, just talking about how they describe you to other people. So we have number 31B and number 44 koala. Whoa, we have a lot of fours here. So number 31 would be 4 and then number 44, 444. Some of you guys might be seeing 444 as synchronicity. Some of you guys might be seeing 222. Some of you might be seeing 1111. And I feel like you've opened the floodgates to them for them to see synchronicities now. And maybe that's also something they tell other people is like, yeah, ever since I met them, I keep seeing like numbers repeating and I don't know why. You know, maybe you really put this person into a spiritual awakening where they had to really get in touch with spirit. And maybe even this person's spirit guides are like thanking you, like, thank you for getting Dan back on the path. Like, thank you for opening his eyes up to this because we've been trying to contact him forever about his car's extended warranty. And but you're the one that opened the floodgates. But I feel like they would also describe you as someone who's very stable. You've always been that kind of beacon of hope and light in their life. You know, and they see you as that universal constant, if you will. They almost feel like they could message you at any time and you would be willing to at least read it. It's not a guarantee that you would ever respond, but I think you at the very least would read it and would read what they had to say. And I think that they really appreciate you for that. You know, the openness, the ability to be so vulnerable but still have your guard up and still be so strong, right? They also see you as someone who's very brave, but also, again, a very, very hard worker, someone who doesn't mind getting down to business because you know that the work that you put in today is going to be brought back to you 10 times tomorrow, right? So I feel like you guys are working really hard, saving up money for a house, saving up so that you can achieve things that are, you know, huge milestones for you. And I feel like this individual is just kind of watching you from afar, right? There's also this energy of, you know, them, I don't want to say that they get a little jealous, but it's almost like maybe that was also a push that you gave them, was they were looking at your life, looking at all the achievements that you're going towards, looking at the fact that you're saving money, that you are trying to better yourself. And I feel like it almost made them feel some type of way. So now they're like, oh, well, I have to do that too. I have to start growing. I have to start saving my money. I have to get serious about my job. I have to get serious about my career. For some of you guys, maybe you had to grow up pretty quickly. You had to mature very fast. And so by the time that you met this individual, you were already grown. Like, you were already responsible. You were already holding a 9-to-5 job. Like, you were already taking care of things. And when you met this individual, they were still very much like, you know, very much like, oh, I'm just going to do things that make me happy. Like, I'm not too worried about the future. I'm not too worried about, you know, having a job that will support me or things like that. And I feel like seeing you succeed and going towards your passions and maybe even getting promotions at work, you know, I feel like this person is just kind of sitting around and is like, oh, I think I need to do that too, right? And it almost made them feel emasculated, regardless of gender, because it was almost this energy of, well, I need to be providing and I need to be doing a little bit more. And I can't just let this person put in all the work and do everything, right? So I feel like that was kind of a kick in the butt for this person and kind of lit a small fire underneath them for them to keep going and to keep growing as well. Now with B, it says creativity, purpose, harvest, and devotion. Yes, so I definitely feel like this person senses your devotion to them, you know, and it's almost like they wish that they could have been as devoted as you had hoped they would be in the past, right? Now, it's not to say that they strayed, but I don't think this person at the time, if you guys were in a relationship or a situationship, I don't believe that they took this as seriously as they should have, right? I think that they saw this as a very surface level, very fun-loving connection. And then by the time they caught feelings, they were like, oh God, like, what am I doing? Like, I thought this was just fun, right? Like, I didn't think we were going into this with expectations of anything serious, right? Because again, at the time, that's all they were really going towards was their own fun, you know, was excitement, was passion. They weren't looking for something that was really long-term like you were, right? And now I feel like they would say that you always had it figured out, right? That you always knew what was supposed to be happening or, you know, where they should have been in life. And I feel like they see you as kind of like someone they look up to, but also kind of a mentor in a very strange way, because there's a lot of admiration, a lot of love here, but they also just really look up to you, right? Now, they also see you as someone who's very creative. They see that as part of your purpose here on Earth. They see it also as your purpose is to uplift and to inspire and enlighten others in the same way that you enlightened them. You know, I feel like they see you, again, your harvest is coming in, and they're watching by the sidelines and they're like, oh, but where's my harvest? Like, you know, haven't I been doing the work? And their spirit guides are like, absolutely not, Dan. You have not done anything. And, you know, I feel like they had to quickly start leveling up. But they really admire the fact that with the bee, you are so generous, that you're so open, especially with those that you love as well. I feel like you're very nurturing, very caring. They keep showing me you like playing with someone's hair. So maybe you played with this person's hair a lot and they really love that. It might even be that you just calmed them down. You really, really gave them peace and quiet in their life. You were kind of their serenity and you were their sanctuary, if that makes sense. Even though they didn't always let on to it, I feel like there was this level of safety that they could feel in your arms and in your presence, right? Now, they also felt like they could tell you anything, which also kind of scared them because they've never been in a situation where they felt they could drop their guards and just talk to someone, right? I feel like that was very frightening for them. It was a very scary situation. You know, the idea of dropping their guards and being completely vulnerable with someone was honestly terrifying. So that could also be a reason why they ran from this connection, because they were like, oh, hold on, I am not ready to do all this with someone. I'm not ready to open up. I am not ready to, you know, bare my all to everyone and to show someone my heart. Absolutely not. Like, I feel like this individual, they got into their ego because they themselves are this little tiny squishy cinnamon roll inside, and they're so sensitive and they're so sweet and they feel their feelings so deeply that they had to kind of build this tough exterior, right? It's kind of giving like crabs. Like, do you remember that SpongeBob episode where Mr. Crab molted and then he was all like mushy and gushy and he was all vulnerable and sad? And then when his like outer layer, his exoskeleton like got all hard again, he's right back to being tough and, you know, being like, oh yeah, well, I'm the coolest guy around, blah, blah, blah. That's kind of the energy that we have here. Like, if we were to pull apart that kind of like thick skin on this person, we would be left with a soft little wrinkly baby man, right? Like Mr. Krabs when he's all soft. And I feel like that's the energy here, you know? And I feel like they might tell their friends and family, like, this person really brought out that soft side to me, and that scared me. That honestly terrified me, and I didn't want to experience it. So I separated from that, right? Now, also with the number 44, this is the number 8. It talks about very fast forward movement as well. It talks about someone who is always on the go. You're always busy. You're always doing something. You know, even when you're at home relaxing, this person still sees you doing stuff. You know, I feel like there's always something to be done, whether that's deep cleaning your house, house, or, walking your animals, or, maybe even taking on different projects while you're still at home. I just feel like there's this energy of keeping yourself busy, and maybe that was also something that they really admired about you, is that you always had something on your mind, or you always were doing something. You were always up to something, right? Now, with koala, it says calm, perspective, imagination, and ease. And another thing that I do want to say is that with koalas, they eat the eucalyptus leaves, and, eucalyptus leaves to any other animal would be incredibly toxic at those levels, like super toxic. And the koala is able to take that and transform that into energy, use that to be able to function and to use that as sustenance. And I feel like the same can be said for you, Stack 4. I feel like you are someone who can take all the negativity in your life, take all the less positive energies, and then eat that and transform it into creativity, transform it into inspiration, transform it into passion that lights that fire underneath you to help you achieve your goals, right? And I really do feel like this individual really, really is inspired by that as well. But it says calm, perspective, imagination, and ease. I keep hearing first light by Hosier. I really feel like this person and you, maybe you shared like some sunsets together, or maybe some sunrises. Maybe you guys went out, spent the night together, and saw a sunrise. Or maybe that's just always been a dream of this individual. But I feel like this person says as well that you light up a room, that you are kind of like your own form of sunshine, right? That anywhere you go, you brighten things up and you make it lively. You make the space come to life. There's also this energy of whenever they see you, it almost feels like the light catches your eye and the light catches your hair in such a way that you shine. It's almost like an ethereal type of beauty with the way that you shine and the way that you glide into a room as well. But you definitely bring them calm. I feel like they say to other people, like, this person really brings peace to my heart, brings peace to my soul, puts me at ease, but is also someone who is very imaginative, someone who is very good at being very fair and very just as well. This is someone who can see from many different perspectives, and, someone who can make great decisions. This is someone who has a good head on their shoulders, is very balanced, but is also very kind, very generous, but also very resilient, is able to transform negative energies into positive ones, right? Like, this person definitely sees you in kind of a magician type energy. So how else would they describe you? We have black bear, guardian, gentle and wise protector. Give me your confidence and power. Help me protect the ones I love. Awaken my intuition and guide me. Yes, so that's exactly what you did. You awoke in this person's intuition and guided them, right? And you are the one that inspired them, made them want to protect the ones that they love, you included, right? I feel like this person is coming back later on, and this person is saying, I want to be your guardian now, I want to take care of you. Even if that means not potentially having a relationship, I feel like this person still like wants to keep tabs on you, wants to make sure that you're okay. I keep hearing, as long as you're alive and okay in the world and I know you're breathing, I'm still going to be happy. Like, we don't have to be together. I just want to know that you're okay, right? But I really do feel like you are someone who is also a gentle and wise protector of the people that you love. I feel like you would go to the ends of the earth for the people that you love. There's nothing that you wouldn't do for them, especially I'm getting children, or maybe you're someone who has like nieces or nephews or something along those lines. I feel like there is nothing that you wouldn't do for them, and I feel like this individual maybe mentions that to their friends and families as well. For some of you guys, maybe you also have a child, and maybe that's something that you also are a guardian of. You are protecting them, and you're taking care of them, even if it's all by yourself. Maybe for some of you guys, this is literally the parent of your child. Maybe this is someone that you had a relationship with and that you had a baby with, and then you guys kind of went your separate ways and come back every few years, right? But regardless, I really do feel like this is someone who you made them feel more confident and made them feel more powerful, because it says gentle and wise protector. That's you. Give me your confidence and power. So I definitely feel like they almost assimilate to be like you in that sense. They want to be a protector like you. They want to be a provider. They want to be able to be even an ounce as good as you are. Like, I keep hearing, if life was a game, you would have the high score compared to me. And, I feel like maybe some of you guys watching this are like, yeah, I know, right? But not in a bad way. It's more just an energy of, I've put in a lot of work into this. Like, I've done a lot of self-growth. I've done a lot of healing. It hasn't always been easy, but I did it. And maybe there's understanding too that this person has really needed this for a long time. Maybe they spiritually needed this kind of kick in the butt to help guide them. For some of you guys, maybe this individual has struggled with addictions, whether that be drug, alcohol, sexual addictions, gambling. I just feel like there's this energy of helping them overcome this, helping them kind of remember who they are, remember that they have power, remember that they don't have to rely on even codependency, right? Learning that they can stand on their own 2 feet. For some of you guys, you had to separate from them because there was this addiction in their life. And I feel like that was for the best. At the time, it felt like a really hard decision or a really hard thing to have to do, but I really feel like Spirit is saying you did the right thing, because had you stayed in this, it would have continued to stay very, very toxic and nothing would have been learned. I definitely feel like a shakeup happened in this pile, so then that way you guys could learn to come back together at the perfect time when you're both healed. And let me look real quick, but that is literally a bumblebee. That's a bumblebee. You have 2 bees here. So look, it's almost like this person is seeing this tiny bumblebee, even though like it might have been something small or a small situationship in their life, it still had a very profound and deep effect on this individual, right? So going forward, let's see some more descriptor cards on how they would describe you to people. So we have number 56, Spider Spirit. Make your dreams real. Number 34, Hummingbird Spirit, be here now. And number 54, Skunk Spirit, know your worth. Beautiful. Okay, so right off the bat with number 54 being the number 9, again, talking about spirituality, talking about the fact that you're someone who's very connected with your intuition, with your gut instinct. Again, very, very scholarly number as well. Whenever I see the number 9, I think of someone who is very, very smart, very well read, very intelligent. But you definitely know your worth. You know that you're worth more. And I feel like there's also this energy of don't mess with me or else I'm going to spray you, right? Because skunks definitely, if they feel even the slightest bit cornered or scared, they're just going to spray you, right? And I feel like that's the energy here, is that you're saying, if you try to mess with me, I'm going to spray you. And that's just going to be that. That's life. Sorry. But I feel like that was also something that this person needed to hear, that confidence, that knowing your worth is something that they needed to do as well. Again, something that inspires them. Now, with the number 56 being the number 11, again, it talks about balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine, that you have a good head on your shoulders, but it's also talking about you know when to be serious, you know when to have a good time. It's also talking about being very grounded here in the 3D, but also being, having your head in the clouds, being connected with the universe, being connected with spirit, receiving synchronicities. It's also talking about being on your right life path as well. We think about the Lovers sometimes when I think about the number 11, because it just kind of confirms that you are on the right track, you're on the right path, and your soul is, getting to where it needs to be, right? And I feel like that's very much what you bring to the table with this individual, is you set them on their right path. Now, with Hummingbird Spirit, number 34, this would be the number 7. Again, the number 7, you definitely do things in your own way. Very indigo child energy. Some of you guys might be aspiring authors or illustrators as well. But with Be Here Now, again, I feel like you're very present in the moment. I feel like you're someone who doesn't stray very far, from what you're doing in this present time. You might also be the type of person who you live in the moment, like you'll take pictures on your phone, but for the most part, you'd rather experience something than to experience it secondhand through photos later on, if that makes sense. You're very, very present. And with Spider Spirit, it says, make your dreams real. So again, this person would say to other people, this person knows their worth. They know that they are worth more than just some situationship coming in. They're trying to make their dreams real. They're going towards them dedicatedly, determinedly, excitedly, with passion and with wonder. And this is someone who is here now. They don't let the little details escape them. This is someone who, likes to remain in the moment, so they have memories in the future. I feel like as well, with Make Your Dreams Real, I think that they would tell their friends and family members that you're someone who can honestly achieve anything. If your goal is to travel all around the world, this person has no doubt that you'll be able to do that, right? I feel like this person has no doubts on you. I feel like there's nothing you can't do in this person's eyes. They see you as someone who's incredibly capable, and someone who can do anything they put their mind to. Now, going forward, how else would they describe you? We have the High Priestess, not surprising, and the Magician. Oh my goodness. So again, you are a manifester. You have all of the tools and resources to accomplish anything that you want to, right? Especially with this make your dreams real, that's very much the Magician vibe and the Magician energy, as well as spiders, very much represents the High Priestess and that inner knowingness, someone who is very well read, someone who's knowledgeable, someone who's understanding of spirit and of the messages that they receive. Some of you guys might be into dream interpretation as well, so you might receive a lot of messages that way, but a lot of you guys have been harnessing the law of attraction. For some of you guys, I feel like your person is telling others that you are experiencing a bout of luck right now, or that you are you maybe even have this inner knowingness of where is the right place to go at the right time. They definitely see you though as someone who is very capable of bringing amazing things into being. I feel like for some of you guys, you might have manifested money and you got a big chunk of money in, or maybe even a raise, and maybe this person is looking at you and they're telling their friends like, damn, I wish I could do that. Like, how do I do that? How do I bring in all these things? So there's definitely this energy of them recognizing that you are a very magical person as well, that you're bringing this in through your intentions, through your affirmations, maybe even through binaural beats as well, or subliminals. But maybe that's something they tell their friends as well, is like, I think this person is like doing witchcraft or something to get all these blessings in their life, right? Which that's fine, whatever. But the Magician and the High Priestess, I feel like they also are kind of coming up on your level as well. Maybe they would tell their friends and family, like, I think that I'm getting to be on their level now, which is something that they definitely couldn't say in the past. So I feel like they're coming forward very excitedly. I feel like they would also say to their friends and families that you take things one step at a time, going from 1 to 2. I feel like you're someone who, views even the small victories or the small milestones as still something incredible and impressive, right? So there's definitely this energy of honoring yourself and having a good relationship with yourself. Self-worth and self-love is a really, really big player here in this game, right? I really do feel like your person has always struggled with self-love, has always struggled with self-worth and making their dreams come true. I feel like for a long time, they didn't even necessarily know what it was that they wanted to do or what their dreams were, right? I feel like this person was just kind of puttering around every single day of their life, just like, okay, whatever, we'll just see where the wind takes me. And then you came in their life and they started realizing, I don't think I know what I want to do at all. And that kind of scares me, right? So there was definitely this illumination of, oh, I don't even think I have any dreams right now, right? As scary as that sounds. So they definitely admired the fact that you knew exactly what it was that you wanted, and you still continue to know exactly what it is that you want. So going forward, we have She Who Begins and She Who Whispers, Secrets, Confessions, and Confidant. Yeah, I feel like they would tell their friends, maybe they're being a little secretive, that they have their eye on you, or that they want to kind of get back with you as well. For some of you guys, maybe this person is scared to come forward to you and to confess how they feel, or to confess, oh, you've been a huge catalyst in my life, right? But I feel like with their friends, I feel like, I don't know, it's kind of weird because I feel like sometimes for some of you, this person can just ramble and ramble, but at the same time, they'll be very quiet. And then someone will be like, oh, hey, how's blah, blah, blah doing? And they'll go, huh? I don't know. I don't talk to them, and get really defensive the next minute. But again, I feel like it's part of their growth and part of their healing is to own up to these things and to talk, not to feel so scared. But with She Who Whispers as well, I think that they would also say to other people that they're not sure how you feel about them, if you would be excited to talk to them, if you would want to talk to them ever again. I feel like they have this energy of, I really messed things up bad and I don't know how to go forward from here, right? And especially with launch, actualize, and potential, they see the potential of this relationship now that they've grown and now that they've evolved. But now they're just kind of like, would you even want me? You know, at this point, we'd be beginning all over again. We're both two completely different people than what we started as. You know, we've both been through a lot of growth over the last year, 2 years, 5 years, however long, you know, but I feel like they're also saying to their friends, like, I really want to launch this. I want to start over fresh. I want to try something new, but at the same time, like, I don't want to just come out and be like, hey, you ready to go out? Because they understand that this has to be treated a little bit more delicately, right? They realize that there has to be a little bit more thought put into this, which is why they're kind of keeping all this under wraps and kind of as a secret, right? So going forward onto your next few cards, these are talking about how else they would describe you. So we have the Sun starting us off, the Queen of Swords, the Seven of Coins, the Judgment card in the reverse, and the Nine of Coins in the upright. Wow, okay, so definitely they feel like from time to time that even though you are very accepting and you're very open to new ideas and to new experiences, they're not too sure that you would give this relationship another chance with them, right? Because with the Judgment in the reverse, it's very much saying, is there even a potential for us? Is this something that can be rebuilt and reborn into something new? And I don't even think they're sure of this at this point, right? Now, they are sure of you. You know, they see you thriving. We literally have the Sun, the Queen of Swords, and the Nine of Coins here, right? I mean, plus the Seven of Coins, you know, what you put in is what you get out. You're really creating abundance for yourself. You're creating this kind of forward moving momentum. And maybe that's also what they're telling people is, you know, this person is just really enjoying themselves, really enjoying being single, really enjoying the fruits of their labors coming in. You know, this is someone who is bright, is bubbly, is very loving, very bright, very warm. Remember how I was saying earlier that you kind of remind them of their own personal sun, right? And that's why we have that here. You know, I feel like you're very warm, you're very inviting, you're very open, and they're scared. They know that you, this happy individual, can very easily turn into the Queen of Swords and be like, excuse me, what did you just say to me? You know, because again, you stand your ground. You are someone who appreciates yourself. You know, you take care of yourself. And that also means setting boundaries for yourself to keep your spiritual and mental health in check. You know, you're not going to let someone just trample all over your boundaries, especially after years of trying to establish them. Absolutely not. No, sir. You know, so I feel like there's this energy of keeping your guard up. And maybe that's what they say to people is like, I love this individual. You know, I love the way they make me feel. I love how happy they are. I love the conversations we have. We could talk for hours. But I am scared because this individual could very easily cut me down. You know, I feel like this individual could very easily tell me everything that's on their mind and everything that I did to them wrong. Do you see how there's kind of all these heads on these stakes in the background as well? It kind of reminds me that if they come to you, there's going to be like hell to pay, right? Like there's going to be this mass like crusade or like witch hunt, and you're going to basically just burn them at the stake. And not to be dramatic, but I feel like this person has a very dramatic idea in their head of what would happen, right? But they see you as taking no prisoners. You're just kind of like, no, I'm standing up for myself, and that's that. You know, maybe that's another thing they tell people is like, I'm scared. Like, I know that I could go by them, you know, and go up to them and they'd be really happy, but very stern, you know, but they probably have other options. And look at how happy they are by themselves. It's like this constant perpetual snowball where they just start going into, oh my gosh, they're so happy. Yeah, they don't need me, blah, 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 blah. And it just works up and works up and works up until they feel like they can't talk to you, right? I feel like this person's a worrywart. I really do. And it's funny because I feel like in the past, they never gave it like two thoughts. They never cared about what anyone else had to say or what anyone else was thinking. And then this all happened with you. And now all of a sudden they're overthinking things and they're worried and they're like, oh my gosh, like, is everything okay? I really do feel like this connection made this person a little bit more sensitive and a little bit more open to other people's emotions and feelings, right? Now, going forward, how do they talk about you to their friends? So we have the Four of Chalices in the reverse, the Three of Wands in the upright, the Devil card in the upright. Wow, okay. The Two of Chalices in the reverse, and the Ten of Chalices in the reverse. Okay. Right now, I'm just going to call cap, right? I really do feel like their friends have they've seen and they've heard so much from this person, especially when this person was in their ego, when this person was wrapped up in addictions, whatever that might be for them. You know, I feel like their friends have heard their side of the story. They haven't heard yours. And from their friend's point of view, you know, it's almost like they're playing it cool, like, oh yeah, I'm just not dating right now because I don't want to date, right? But in reality, I feel like they're not dating because no one else can compare to you in that sense, right? No one else lights that fire in them like you did. No one else makes them feel as complete as you did either. So it's kind of like just watching every day, not really accepting any offers, not wanting to ask anyone out, you know, just kind of looking off into the distance and daydreaming. You know, I feel like some of their friends, the way that they've described this, they might see it as just like a sexual or just a lustful connection or relationship, which is funny because I really do feel like, in all honesty, that they do feel the 10 of cups in the upright for you, that they do feel the 2 of cups in the upright for you. But I feel like with their friends, they play it safe, you know, and they say things like, oh yeah, no, we could never have a family, or we could never be together. It would never make any sense. Like, they're only good for having around for my own pleasures. Like, but I feel like this person talks a big show. I guarantee you, like, I feel like the energy that they have between their friends and their family is such a stark difference. And that's the funny thing. Like, I feel like this individual might have siblings or might have a sister or someone that they talk to, maybe even a cousin. And I feel like they open up with this person and it's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the one that got away. I'm pretty sure this is the love of my life. But with their pals, with their buddies, with their bros, they're just kind of like, no, you know, but it's very much that kind of playing it cool, needing to be kind of like, tough in their friends' eyes as well, which honestly is kind of sad because it's just kind of like, this could be such a beautiful connection. Again, if ego wasn't here, I feel like that's a really big situation in this person's life, is ego. So going forward onto your next few cards, these are talking about how they talk about you to their family. So we have the King of Swords in the reverse, the 5 of Swords in the upright, in the upright, the Ace of Swords in the upright, and the 10 of Cups in the upright. Yes, okay, that's what I'm talking about, right? So yeah, no, they can lie all they want to themselves, to their homies, to whoever is in their life. It's all cap, right? You know, this person feels very deeply about you, and I feel like this situation hurt them more than they're even going to acknowledge. But here's the thing. I feel like with their family members, they kind of talk about how you're the one that's winning and they're the one that's on the sidelines kind of losing, right? And it's almost like they're saying to their friends and family members as well, like, had I just stayed with this person, would I also be successful? Would I also be abundant? Would I also be aligned with my truest path, right? But again, I feel like this had to happen as a catalyst for a reason. I feel like for both of you, I feel like for you in particular, you grew a lot financially and also just as a person. You know, this person had to grow up a lot very, very quickly. Like, I feel like this was anywhere from a year to 5 years, right? But I feel like it really improved them, and it really improved their communication as well, especially when it comes to their family members with the Ace of Swords here. You know, I feel like maybe in the past they were very reserved, but now they almost have a deeper connection with their family members as well, because they've been able to open up about you, because they've been able to open up about this situation as well and how they're feeling. It was almost as if they were saying, like, I couldn't turn to any of my friends about this situation because I would either be mocked or I'd be laughed at or I'd be made fun of, you know, so I had to turn to my family because that was the only person there that I could turn to, you know. But again, I feel like they see this situation as something that was a potentially good thing. Everything happens for a reason, right? But, you know, their family definitely hears from this person that they want to reach out to you, they want to talk to you, they want to have a conversation, you know, regardless of what that looks like. Even just to hear your voice again, I feel like the family knows that, right? They also know that you're someone who's very creative, very artistic, you know, very, very detail oriented, you know, someone who honestly might even be really amazing at drawing, but definitely with the 10 of Chalices here in the upright, they see the potential here because you've really improved this person's life. But this isn't like a call to be like, you have to be with them. If anything, it's up to you. You know, you can very easily say no, but I feel like it's important for you to know that their family really thinks highly of you, because I feel like when this person was going through their ego and going through kind of like this, you put them through their dark night of the soul, right? But I feel like as they were experiencing these addictions, as they were experiencing these kind of negative energies, things that don't serve them, you know, I feel like no one could get through to them, right? No one, absolutely no one, not their mother, not their father, not their siblings, not their cousins, no one, not even Santa Claus, no one could get through to this person, right? So I feel like with you coming in, you really cut through all those defenses. You cut this person down without even needing to, or even meaning to, right? But it was something that they needed. It was something that they needed to learn and to experience in order to grow and in order to mature enough to where they could have a relationship, right? So I really do feel like you have bettered this person even without being with them, right? Like, you never have to be with them if you don't want to, but the option is very much open. And honestly, I feel like they're in so much healthier of a mind space now, right? So your final card, how do they see this situation with you, or how would they perceive the connection going forward? So we have the Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, they really feel like you guys could have it all. You know, you guys could be successful together. You guys could be happy. You guys could, you know, lead that very abundant lifestyle together where you have everything. You have the dogs, you have the home, you have the money, you have the old person sitting right there. You have everything. So I really do feel like Spirit and this person are saying, like, you know, there is still potential here in this situation if it's something that you wanted. But again, don't feel obliged or don't feel like you have to. It's entirely up to you, and it's entirely up to if this person decides to come back into your life. But I really do feel like this split was for the greater good and was for both of you to be able to get to a better spot in your life. And that's what they would say about you. They would describe you as some of the best things that a human being could potentially ever be. But they would also say that you were their hardest lesson that they ever had to experience or they ever had to learn, which honestly is kind of beautiful, right? So I hope that you enjoyed this stack 4. Definitely let me know in the comments down below if this resonated and if this made sense. Definitely let me know though, because I love you guys' comments so much. It honestly makes my day so good to see you guys' comments. It just like warms my heart. But I hope you guys are doing amazing and having a great rest of your day. Also, make sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed this reading, and make sure to press subscribe if you have not already, and hit that little bell icon to be notified every time I upload a brand new reading. But I hope you guys are doing amazing and staying in good health, and I hope to be honored to have you in the next reading I do. So yeah, I hope to see you then, and I hope you're staying in good health. Bye, stack 4!